2. We are live now.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope I am audible and my screen is visible. So you will probably see my IMS login and you will see a short window on the right. So that is basically the OneNote app on which I will be doing the rough work. Right. So that's what we are going to do. I'll just tell you a bit about what exactly we are going to do and how exactly this is going to happen. So we have done quite a few live mocks in the past, and this is going to be similar to that. Just that this is a different test altogether. So we have done a lot of live SimCAT solving. We have done a couple of SimCET solving, but that is something which, again, honestly, I haven't seen anyone do it. So it's an extremely new thing for me as well. And that is obviously a very challenging test, as all of us know. And I have gone through the worst of ZATs as well. So ZAT 2011, which a lot of people are extremely scared of, was one of my genuine attempts. But I love the test. Honestly speaking, I love the test because it is very random, right? Not because it is very well conducted or because it is very scientific in nature. I love the fact that it is very random, and a lot of people are scared of randomness. A lot of people don't know how to make decisions under uncertainty. So in fact, that is one of the subjects I believe that XLRI offers in your second year, decision making under uncertainty, right? So that's what I love about this act. You do never know what might change, right? So that is one thing that I like. But then again, I have a very simple philosophy. If you are scared of the test, or if you feel that you are not very well prepared for the test, that is going to be true for a lot of others as well, right? So honestly speaking, let's say I do this session today, there might be some of you who would be online. I don't know, maybe 50, 100, 200, whatever people are there online, I don't know. But you will be there online, you will be watching it with me. The video once released might have, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 views. I don't know, I'm not sure of the numbers, but if the number of takers is beyond 1 lakh, and if 5,000 people are watching this video, then this message is for all of you, right? That all said and done, if you are scared of the test, everyone else is also scared of the test, just that they don't know that you know, right? And that is very important. So you should not really get scared because you feel you don't know anything. You should be supremely confident because you know that everybody else is scared, right? And the person who is going to do well at this ZAT is going to be the one who will be more or less happy in terms of whatever ZAT throws at that person, right? So I always believe that instead of being very conservative when it comes to the ZAT, you have to be as expressive, as aggressive as is possible when it comes to solving the test. Again, I don't know what I'm going to score today, honestly, but then again, there is a good chance that I might end up with a sub 30 score as well. But I think it's more about the experience of solving the test and how the thought process is, right? So that is basically about the test, why I like it, and what exactly are we doing today. The second thing is essentially in terms of strategy. So that is a 165 plus 25-minute paper. Again, I haven't taken the ZAT for the last 4 years now. I think ZAT 2019 was my last, or ZAT 2020, I believe, was my last proper ZAT. So 3 years, I have not taken the ZAT at all. I haven't seen last year's paper as well. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I pretty much understand what the test is trying to ask. So that part is fine. But in terms of strategy, it is way different compared to what we did at the CAT or even the CET for that matter, right? So in terms of the CAT, you don't really have to follow a strategy because there is a fixed order in which the sections will come. You will get a fixed amount of time to solve the questions, and that will be the end of it, right? So it's fairly straightforward. In terms of the CET, you don't really have the time to think about your strategy, right? Because 150 minutes, 200 questions, many of the questions will also be difficult. That makes your job a lot easier, so to say, because there is nothing that you need to think about. You just have to solve the next question in front of you. In terms of the ZAT, it is a very tiring test, honestly speaking, because 165 minutes of the actual test followed by 25 minutes of GK and essay. It's a huge test, right? Plus another 15, 20, 30 minutes of you sitting idle in front of your monitor. It's a difficult test to undergo, right? You'll be waking up early in the morning and all those things are accounted for. So that's what makes it a difficult test. The amount of time that you have might lure you into that feeling of, you can say that you will be confident that we'll be able to finish the paper, definitely, right? But then again, in a lot of scenarios, it so happens that you might not be able to finish the test because you have been very complacent. So it's very important for you to, again, figure out what you want to do as you go, and not allocate more than 45 minutes in the first round, right? So 45, 45, 45 you do, 135 minutes followed by another 30 minutes of cover up of whichever section you feel deserves more time. Or you can simply do a kind of a thing, that is also fine. But don't spend 1 hour 15 minutes on a section before you see the other section. That is basically my advice, and that's what we will try to do today as well. I'll try to solve as many easy questions as I can in the first go, but then again, I will not really hurry through the questions. If a passage needs rereading, I will do that. If a question needs resolving, or if it needs an elaborate diagram or something, I'll try to do as much as I can, right? So that is basically what we are going to do. We don't have percentiles, I believe, for XAT 101. We have a percentile mapper that exists. So I'll try to, I don't know, I'll read out the percentiles to you maybe at the end of the test so that you can get a benchmark. But the benchmark is already on. So you might have got a message on your WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups regarding the percentile mapping for XAT 101 and 102. So that is basically what we are going to do, right? So again, I have a similar setup that I generally have. I have my laptop in front of me. I have a small tablet here. Okay. So it's something like this. I think it will get connected, hopefully. Yeah. So it will look something like this. I will see the questions on either of the two screens, depending on my comfort. And I'll try to do all my rough work on that OneNote bit. Throughout the 165 minutes and the GK bit as well, I'll try to talk through my attempt. I'll try to justify why I'm choosing something as the correct answer. And yeah, let's hope to do a good job at this test. And yeah, I think we are good to go, right? So we're not doing it for scores. We're not doing it for percentiles. I have no idea what the sectional split is as well. I have just seen the split of questions from last year's that. I'm extremely raw when it comes to that, honestly speaking. And yeah, I thought, why not? So let's take this challenge and let's try to do it. I'll also do the GK at the end, just for the fun of it. I'll try to do the GK bit as well. The 25 questions that are there that I will do. Essay I will not type because again, I don't know. Yeah, so I'll not go for it. I'm not sure if the essay is a part of the test, honestly. But if it is there, I'll try to talk about it a bit if we have the time left at the end. But I'll not type out the essay, right? But GK we will do for sure. All right. So without further ado, let's start with the attempt. I'll try to open it. So I haven't taken any of these mocks. Okay. So I'll just read the instructions once, and just give me a second. Yeah. So okay, I hope I'll be able to do this. Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes it so happens that the resolution is not in the form of your laptop, right? So that is one thing. All right, and there will be no breaks in between. I might have to tend to the door once, but I hope it's taken care of. But anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah. So we'll read the instructions. We'll start with this thing. So part A, part B. Part A, 75 questions on 65 minutes and 3 sections. So DI and QA, 28 questions. VA, verbal and logical ability, 26. And DM and analytical reasoning, 21. So 75 questions in total. And it's very important for you to read this as well. So again, make sure that you read it, and also it helps you calm your nerves, right? So I don't know how many of you saw Sunit's live attempt of the SimCAT, but yeah, he mentioned a very nice thing that it's better if you read the instructions, and it helps you calm down a bit as well, right? So the second part consists of the following to be solved in 25 minutes. So GK 25 questions. We'll try to do everything because there is no negative marking. Essay writing 1 question, but that has troubled a lot of people in the past. GK marks would be used by all the institutes at the only at the time of final selection and not for shortlisting candidates for the interview/GD. Each multi-choice question has 5 options. There is only one correct answer. All questions from all the sections in both the parts and expected to maximize scores in each section. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. All multi-choice questions carry 1 mark each. Fair enough. Negative marking 1/4. Fair enough. Part A, there is no negative marking for unattempted questions up to 8 questions. So XAT has this funny thing wherein they will deduct marks for unattempted questions as well. But honestly, it's not required for you to worry about it, right? Because 1/10 of the marks will be deducted, and I think that is deducted at an overall level. So no need to worry about unattempted marks getting cut off for undetected questions. Unattempted questions. Let go of that bit. Whatever goes, goes. It's okay. You don't have a lot of control on that. So whatever 0.1, 0.5, 0.2 mark goes, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Okay. There is no negative marking for incorrect answers in part B. Yeah. So GK is still either 1 or nothing. No negative marking for skipped unattempted questions in part B. Okay. Essay are only indicative. Okay, fair enough. Assessment criteria for essay writing is not released by XAT and are subject to evaluation norms followed by the institutes. Hence, IMS will not be evaluating the responses entered for this section in the exam test. Fair enough. Right? So those of you who are writing essays, make sure that you are figuring out the answers or the things that you could have covered purely by visiting online. You can go for some links and you will be able to figure it out. Essay ke liye, there is one thing that I want to tell all of you: don't make grammatical errors. Right? We are not supposed to remember each and every fact that exists in the universe. Right? You're not supposed to remember that 93% of the population in India who stays in metros owns at least one smartphone. You're not expected to know that statistic. I don't even know if it's right or not. You can maybe say that most of the people in urban areas or in metros own a smartphone. That's it. That is fair enough. Just make sure that you're not making obvious grammatical mistakes or you're not making obvious typos. Right? If you do that much, just split it into 4 paragraphs and manage it. You should be fine. All right. So yeah, we'll start with the test. I've already taken 10 minutes. So the first, okay, I'll just increase this bit. The first section that we have is verbal and logical ability. So let's see what all questions are there. Okay. So allegory or metaphor, right? Allegory and metaphor, right? So understood. So I think it's talking about how allegory is different than metaphor and how exactly we confuse one for another. So let's see. Fair enough. How many questions do we have? 3 questions. Okay, 3 questions for the first one. Second passage is: throughout history, philosophers have been intrigued by the nature of time. Okay, philosophy and time. Everyday decisions we make, as simple as either waiting for the elevator, I hate it, or taking the stairs, are based on the experienced passage of time, anticipated duration. Okay, we're talking about how people think about time. Psychology, neural basis of experience of time. The riddle for philosophers and scientists alike is still unsolved. How does the mind create time? Okay, fair enough. Okay, sounds to be an interesting one, but yeah, it is slightly difficult to read, I believe. Same thing. 5, 6 also I think is the same thing. 7th, let's see. Okay, 7th is also the same thing. So the second passage has 4 questions at least. Yeah, 4 questions. C.S. Lewis, Abolition of Man. Okay. Resist the 2 opposed temptations of science deified and science defied. Okay, so science as giving the status of a deity and science defied, meaning that science is opposed in a way. Right? Scientism, radical empiricism, materialism, naturalism. Okay, lot of isms. Thoughts come out of the brain as gall from the liver or urine from the kidneys. Okay. Deification of science, second bit. So defiance and deification. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. So scientific reason is what we're talking about here as well. Fair enough. Let's see. 9th is also the same thing. 10th is the same thing. 11th. Okay. So 3, 4, 3 is what we have. A biological community thinks it has accounted for the apparent design in nature through the Darwinian mechanism of random mutation and natural selection. It has account for the apparent design in nature. Biologists regard themselves as having made a successful scientific argument against an actual design. Yeah. So this is important because of a claim to be scientifically falsifiable, it must have the possibility of being true. Okay, understood. Something as in if we have to prove something wrong, we have to consider the possibility that it might be true as well. Fair enough. Microscope examination revealed that every cell was inscribed with the phrase "made by Yahweh." Okay. Okay, understood. So again, we are talking about science and some answers and everything. Okay, the question looks a bit tricky. Second is the same, third is the same. Okay, so one passage of 4 questions, 3 passages of 3 questions each, 13 questions in total. 14th is a parajumble, logically ordered combination. Let's see. Right, so I have always had a problem with the word nature. What seems to make the concept of naturalness especially problematic is the way. So we have to logically combination. Yeah. So 1 and 6 are fixed, the others we have to figure out. So let's start with this one. Let's see if we can manage this. I've always had a problem with the word nature, right? So the author should explain what the problem is. What seems to make the concept of naturalness especially problematic is the way it is used to justify particular situations or courses of action. Okay. So what are the multiple senses of the concept of nature? Word nature, Q, I don't know if it looks nice. If you look at the options as well, we are looking at either P, S, or R as the starting point. So Q is definitely not it. This in itself is not a reason to dislike a word. Okay. We seem to have little problem with most words that have multiple meanings. Okay. And S, it seems to serve as a label for multiple mutually inconsistent notions. Fair enough. So if you look at 1S, let's say, I'm just trying to get the options, 1S, R, PQ. So it seems to serve as a label for multiple mutually inconsistent notions. Fair enough. R is, this in itself is not a reason to dislike a word. We seem to have little problem most words that have multiple meanings. Yeah. So I think S, R seems to be a good pair. What seems to make especially probably the way this thing. So what are the multiple senses of the concept of nature? I think we can discern at least 3. So multiple senses. So Q6 seems nice. So Q6 seems nice. I think options 3 and 4 are definitely out. S6. Okay. Even S6 is nice. Okay, let's see Q6 because I think S seem to be a decent starter. I just mark it and keep. SRPQ6. So what seems to make the concept of naturalness especially problematic is the way it is used to justify particular situations or courses of action. Okay. So if I look at the first one, E, someone had a problem with the word nature. What seems to make it problematic? So explanation of why it is a problem. Then R, this in itself is not a reason to dislike a word. Okay. We seem to have a little problem with most words that have multiple meanings. PRS. What are the multiple senses of the concept of nature? I think we can discern at least 3. So I think Q6 is also a nice thing because, right? What are the multiple senses? And then we say that I think we can discern at least 3. Yeah, Q6 seems nice to me. So I think option 3 and 4 are definitely out. Okay, we have 5. So 3 and 4 and 5 also seem to be out. Q6 I think is a good bet. And we are PRSQ. PRSQ seemed better to me. Always had a problem with the word nature. What seems to make it problematic is the next one. And then R, this in itself, this reason is not enough, or it's not really a valid reason to dislike a word. That is fine. Then S, it seems to serve as a label, right? Okay, RS seems slightly off because it seems to serve as a label. So S might not follow R. Let's see. So that it has to refer to something. So RS seems to be off. Again, going back to the second one. It seems to serve as a label. Okay, 1S might be right. This in itself is not a reason to dislike. Okay, R. Okay, so this in itself is not a reason to dislike a word, but especially problematic when it comes to nature. So RP represents that that shift in terms of why exactly nature is the word that we're talking about. RP is fine. What are the multiples? Yeah, I think this is right. I think right. What I am worried about is we have 1P, 1R, 1R, 1P. So 1S is not exactly a popular choice. That's why I'm worried about. But okay, let's see. So we'll mark it and go ahead. But that is what I will say. Aesthetics as a set of principles and branch of philosophy deals with questions concerning beauty and artistic experiences. Okay, so aesthetics has been mentioned here. QS, QPS. So QS, Q or S is what we can start with because the options have those as the starters. Aesthetics as a set of principles and branch of philosophy deals with questions concerning beauty and artistic experiences. Fair enough. In any field of humanities where the field is less accurately known and its principles have not been precisely formulated, the more authoritarian the field becomes. Q, I don't know. Q is not really consistent with 1. So 1Q doesn't seem to be the case. So I will eliminate options 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 will be out. S, okay. As far as our general understanding of it is concerned, it is a highly nebulous field subjected to tremendous degree of misinterpretation, particularly in the field of abstract art. So 1S seems to be fine because it is what is referred to there. SP or SQ. SP in the field of arts with no exact fundamentals precisely developed, the techniques and approaches are wide open for the artist to imagine, explore, and create their art. So that is what we have. SP and SQ. In any field of humanities where the field is less accurately known and its principles have not been precisely formulated, the more authoritarian the field becomes. Again, SQ doesn't seem fine because authoritarian and also we haven't really touched that all, right? Okay, let's see. So SP I will still say is fine. Let's check this option SPQR6. SP, no exact fundamentals are wide open for artists. So a lot of artists come. Then Q in the field of humanities where the field is less accurately known. Okay. The more authoritarian it becomes, the artist subject to loss of commerce where various schools begin to teach the artist how to be an artist. So authoritarian is explained in R. I somehow think this is right. Okay, let's see it again. Aesthetics was defined already. Deals with questions concerning beauty and artistic experiences is fine. Then S, as far as our general understanding of it is concerned, it is aesthetics. It's a highly nebulous field. Aesthetics is a highly nebulous field. Fair enough. A tremendous degree of misrepresentation is there. Abstract art doesn't matter. Right? Then P, in the field of arts, with no exact fundamentals precisely developed. So it's a nebulous field, right? We are talking about some field of art, or in general in the field of arts, where no exact fundamentals are developed. The techniques and approaches are wide open for the artist to imagine, explore, and create. So a lot of people can do whatever they want. In the field of humanities, so arts and humanities, where the field is less accurately known and its principles have not been precisely formulated, the more authoritarian the field becomes. So again, it becomes authoritarian. So arts and humanities is basically what we have zeroed it down to, and the artist subject to loss of commerce. Yeah. Okay, this seems to be fine. Let's look at the last one that we hadn't seen. 1P we hadn't seen. So 1PQR. Aesthetic in the field of arts are wide, imagine character art. Okay, PQRS is what we have. Field of arts, field of humanities. Okay, arts with loss of commerce. So tremendous degree of misrepresentation, field of abstract art. No, misrepresentation say we are not saying authorities analyze the paintings and all. Okay, I think this is right. Let's see. Okay, we have spent 12 minutes, I believe, on 65. Yeah, 12 minutes we have spent. Doesn't matter. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Okay. Okay, let's look at it later. This is something that you might be able to do. The Supreme Court has rightly dashed the well-established principle that the freedom of expression cannot be dashed without a valid reason. Has rightly challenged or whatever, challenged that cannot be dashed without a valid reason. Let's look at this thing. Has rightly challenged the well-established principle that freedom of expression cannot be encouraged. Okay. Rightly banked on the well-established principle that curtailed the well-established principle that restricted without a valid reason. Challenge seems to be a good one for the first one. It's curtailed or encouraged. Okay. The Supreme Court has rightly challenged the principle. What was the principle? That the freedom of expression. So let's look at the second part. Freedom of expression cannot be curtailed without a valid reason. So you cannot really curtail the freedom of expression without a valid reason, meaning you can't really bar or prohibit people from expressing themselves. Right. So that is the principle. You cannot be curtailed without a valid reason. Okay, fair enough. Let's. It has dash that the film is nothing but artistic expression within the dash of law. Okay. And there is no warrant or dash to curtail it. Okay. So there is no warrant or dash. So something similar to warrant. Justification seems to be nice. Agency. Okay. Agency might be there. Agency might mean a body which can curtail it. So that might exist. But justification seems to be right for the last blank. So 3 and 4 I will eliminate for the time being. But artistic expression within the dash of law. So parameters and boundary. Parameters sound to be better. So first or second, let's see. Reiterated is fine. Challenged, encouraged, banged on, curtailed. Okay, so it is saying that the film is an artistic expression within the ambit of the law, within the parameters of the law. So it's saying that it is fine. So someone might have raised a query or someone might have filed a complaint or litigation or whatever, saying that the movie had to be banned or there had to be some censorship that was there. But the Supreme Court has rightly quashed that particular query that was there, right? So it has not challenged the well-established principle. It has basically said that the well-established principle is fine and it cannot be curtailed. I think this is fine. I'm only worried about banged on because challenged are three things that are there. So I'm not very sure. Freedom of expression cannot be restricted. You curtail a freedom, right? You cannot restrict a freedom. Achha, it could also mean the other way around, right? It can also mean that someone has used their freedom of expression to seek a ban on that film. That is also possible. Then challenge is also. Then challenge might also be fine. And I'm more concerned about the banged on being the only thing that we're talking about. And banged on again seems slightly off. Okay. I think this is the one. Yeah? Has rightly challenged the well-established principle that freedom of expression cannot be encouraged without a valid reason, right? Yeah, you cannot encourage freedom of expression without a valid reason. Seems to be slightly off. Okay. That is what XAT does to you, but fair enough. I generally go in with the mindset that even if I'm getting 50% right, 50% wrong, it's fair, right? VA we have how many questions? 26 questions. So even if it's a 13 kind of a thing, I'll not be sad with you. According to many, certain crimes are so dash and affront to dash that the only adequate response may be death penalty. Are so glorious or grievous. Glorious and affront to human. Human doesn't seem nice. Grievous might actually be good because grievous means resulting into serious hurt or mortality for that matter. Okay, let's see. Simply put, some are not dash enough to make a legal claim on their own lives. Some are not dash enough to make a legal claim on their own lives. Okay, this one seems to be humane because humane is what they're talking about. So fourth blank has to be humane, I believe. So 1 is gone, 3 is gone. So humane. There is nothing humane about taking another person's life, despite all efforts to prove otherwise. Besides, nahi, despite sounds better. So despite. So we are talking about either 2 or 5. Okay. Humanity, human, humane, despite. So first or second or fifth, sorry. Yeah, I will go with grievous because grievous hurt basically means something that results into mortality. Okay, some are not human enough. I think they're talking about the people who commit those crimes. Some of them cannot be regarded as human because to make a legal claim on their own lives. Okay, yeah, I think this is fine. We might have actually had the first right answer of our test. Let's see. I had contains correct and meaningful use of the underlying words. Sooner rather than later, they would surrender, but they were determined to hold back for as long as they could. Okay, acha, oh, like that. Sooner or later, they would surrender without doubt, but for their determination to hold on as long as they could. Hold on. Hold out seems better. Hold back, hold on, hold out, hold up, hold on. So hold on to dear life. Hold on or hold out. Interesting. Let's see. Sooner or later, they would surrender. Sooner rather than later, they would surrender. So sooner rather than later sounds to be off. So one I think is not right. Not sooner nor later they will surrender. 4 is definitely out, I think. So 2, 3, and 5 remain. Sooner or later they would surrender without doubt, but for their determination to hold on as long as they could. Despite knowing that sooner or later they would have to surrender, they were determined to hold out for as long as they could. This sounds to be better. Fifth one, sooner or later they surrendered, but they would hold on as long as they possibly could. Sooner or later they surrendered. Sooner or later they would surrender without doubt, but for the determination to hold on as long as they could. The second sounds slightly off. I don't know. Sooner or later they would surrender without doubt, but for their determination. Doesn't seem to be a good construct. Okay, I'm not a VARC faculty, so or a VRC mentor rather. So I am not very clear with the technicalities, but I'm still trying to attempt it to the best of my knowledge. And I know I'm going to annoy a lot of verbal mentors out there, but instinct, right? So you have to be a lot more technical than what I am. So 2 seems to be off honestly. 3 or 5, let's see. Despite knowing that sooner or later they would have to surrender, they were determined to hold out for as long as they could. Seems fine. Or sooner or later they surrendered, but they would hold on as long as they possibly could. Sooner or later they surrendered. Somehow like 3 better than the others. Sooner rather than later they would surrender. Sooner rather than later, nay. So it means that they would surrender sooner, but nay, that is not what they're talking about. They have to delay it as much as possible, but they know that sometime it is going to happen. Not sooner after 4 is definitely out. 2, 3, 5 is what remains. We are done 22 minutes by the way, so I have to speed things up a bit. Sooner or later they would surrender without doubt. Without doubt again. Hold on again. Hold on for what? Hold on for dear life. Hold out seems to be a bit better. Okay, we'll go with 3. Let's see. Okay. I smooth away the dreams disclosed by tangled sheets. I smack the dented pillows revelation to oblivion. I finish with the pattern of the spread exactly centered. The night is won and now the day can open. I smooth away the dreams disclosed by tangled sheets. So basically, someone has woken up. I smack the dented pillows revelation to oblivion. I finish with the pattern of the spread exactly centered. Okay, night is won and now the day can open. So it's basically enthusiastic. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Pragmatic doesn't seem right. It basically seems as if something is someone is very excited to get up and go to work or conquer the day, right? So pragmatic doesn't seem nice. Poignant, not really. It's not a thoughtful thing. It's basically showing a lot of enthusiasm. Eulogistic, not really. We're not talking about. I hope eulogy means some nice things that people say after someone is no more. Bleath and swaggering. I have bleath is something that I'm not really able to recollect the meaning of. Swaggering seems to be swagger. When we generally say that we are like fearless and carefree, and that is basically what we mean by swagger, not a care in the world. I'm not sure about bleath, but I think I'll go with it. Let's see. Again, I'm not sure. Okay, there's one more poem. Tonight I have watched the moon, and then the plates go down. The night is now half gone. Youth goes. I am in bed alone. Okay. So basically, someone is not able to sleep. The night is now half gone. Youth goes. I am in bed alone. Seems to be slightly. Someone is basically in the middle of the life or something. So time and tide wait for none. Fair enough. Footprints on the sands of time are not made by sitting down. No, it's not talking about. I hope it's not talking about encouragement. It's a long lane that has no turning. Nature, time, and patience are three great physicians. Fourth is also not right, I think. Time hangs heavy. Okay. Time and tide wait for none is fine. It's a long lane that has no turning. Time hangs heavy. Time and tide wait for none. So it goes on as it, without waiting for anyone. So I think this is still nice. Yeah, I think I like this one. Time hangs heavy. I'm not able to explain what that means, right? It's a long lane that has not turning is fair enough, but we are talking about time. Literally, we're talking about the night is now half gone. So I'm hoping that we are taking it in the literal sense that you are half done with time, and then it does not wait for anyone. So let's see. I'll go for this one. Oh, there's another passage. Okay, objectivism. I just read about objectivism a few days ago. Interesting. 23. So there's only one question. Okay, there's some conversation that is there. Okay, fair enough. Let's 23. Statement 1. Technology seems to change by a sort of inexorable evolutionary progress, which we probably cannot stop or speed up much either. Okay, so it's basically we don't really have a lot of control, is what we are saying. Most technological breakthroughs come from technologies tinkering, not from researchers chasing hypotheses. So basically, we are talking about the physical act of tinkering something and playing with things, which will lead to technological breakthroughs, not when the researchers are just chasing hypotheses and doing things in their mind. I hope that's what they mean. Statement 1 assumes technology to be ever changing yet constant. Okay. Statement 1 assumes that technology cannot be swayed by the whims of humans. Fair enough. I think 2 is a better explanation than 1. Statement 1 and statement 2 are contradictory to each other. Okay, so 1 is saying that there is progress in terms of technology, but we can't really change the pace at which the technology changes. Secondly, we are saying how the technology changes, right? But they are not talking about the pace. For all you know, tinkering will result into a gradual change in technology. So 2 and 1 don't contradict each other, honestly speaking, I think. So 3, I don't think is right. Statement 2 undermines the hard work of researchers. So technological breakthroughs come from technologists tinkering, not from researchers chasing hypotheses. Fair enough. So 4th is also fine. Statement 2 belies the research aspect of technology and credits it to accidents. 5 also seems to be fair. Okay. We decided that 1 and 2 are contradictory, so is definitely out. So 3 is definitely wrong. Statement 1 assumes technology to be ever changing yet constant. Ever changing yet constant. See, it doesn't compared to the other option. I don't think it's very bright, honestly. Statement 1 assumes that technology cannot be swayed by the whims of humans. Cannot be changed. We are not able to change the pace. So second option is also gone, I think. Undermines the hard work of the researchers. Undermines the hard work of the researchers in a very specific instant. It's not saying that researchers are not required at all. It is saying that technological breakthrough is not happening if researchers chase hypotheses. Researchers can chase hypotheses and bring maybe small changes to technology, but breakthrough is not going to happen, is my understanding. So fourth is also gone, I think. Belies the research aspect of technology and credits it to accidents. I think one is better. Again, fourth will belies the research aspect of technology. It does not say that researchers don't do anything at all. It says that researchers don't cause technological breakthroughs. Again, I might be overthinking this. I have a tendency to do that in verbal. Let's see. Children from impoverished families are more prone to mental illness and alterations in DNA structure could be to blame. Okay, poverty can affect a child's development, particularly in the brain. Poor children are more prone to mental illnesses such as depression than their peers from wealthier families, but they're also more likely to have cognitive problems, which are the following it will reinforce. So it will strengthen the argument, right? So it's basically saying that impoverished families के children को बहुत सारे problems हो सकते हैं, right? They might have a lot of problems in terms of mental illness because of lack of nourishment, depression, and all those things can happen, and cognitive problems is also fact. In poor children, some differences are clearly visible in the brain structure and seem to appear at birth. Differences, positive, negative, we don't know, only differences. So one, I will not go for it at this point in time. Poverty brings with it a number of different stressors, and the general struggle to get by affects the well-being of children. Might be right, yes. It reinforces the author's view that the children of poor people will be more prone to having mental illness. But again, stressors will talk about mental illness, but well-being might be physical or whatever. So again, 2 is fine for the timing, but again, borderline. Growth retardation in the areas of the brain involved in response to stress and decision making have been linked to low socioeconomic status. So growth retardation in the areas of the brain involved in response to stress and decision making. Low socioeconomic status. Fair enough. Again, seems to be right. Seems to be better than 2 because 2 was borderline right, as I said. DNA structures and brain development can be passed down through generations and they may be altered by environmental factors. Fourth is definitely out, I think. Poor children show more activity in the brain's fight or flight center as compared to children from wealthier families. More activity. Again, positive, negative, we don't know. So either it's 2 or 3, I think. I think 3 is better. Different stressors. So again, we're talking about poverty, yes, and third one is talking about low socioeconomic status. Now, low socioeconomic status should ideally mean poverty, but it can also mean, I don't know, slightly above poverty, not impoverished or something. But growth retardation will definitely reinforce the author's view that there is a lot of maladies in terms of mental well-being, or they are more prone to mental illness. Different number of different stressors and the general the well-being of children. Sorry, third one. I'll go with 3. Let's see. The pleasure of competition consists in the resolution of uncertainty combined with the validation of status rankings. Pleasure of competition consists in the resolution of uncertainty. Resolution of uncertainty combined with the validation of status rankings. Okay, so there should be no uncertainty in life. Everyone should know what they're supposed to do, what's going to happen, and everything. Combined with the validation of status rankings. So again, status rankings. If I know that I'm at a particular stage in terms of my status, then it should help me compete in a better manner, I think. I don't know. There's a special thrill in the resolution of a sustained uncertainty about an outcome, and this is also behind the appeal of gambling. But in sport, the resolution of this uncertainty is also meant to reflect merit. Sporting competition provides an answer to the question of who deserves to win. Okay. The centrality of numbers, records, rankings, and numerous other statistics also follows from this emphasis on outcomes. Competition is what makes sport exciting. Okay. Competition, the chancing of fate and divine favor is important, but it is not the only kind of pleasure that sport can and should afford. Competition, the chancing of fate and divine favor. Divine favor, I think, is a bit too much, right? So 3, I will not be very keen on. Hence, the emphasis on fairness, level playing fields, and anti-doping rules to ensure that the results reflect only the authentic, natural worth of the contestants. Okay. In this light, increasing dominance of competition across all sports is distinctly worrying. We are talking about pleasure, thrill, and everything. So worrying, I think, is in a different context. So 5, I think, is out. 1 to 4. Competition is what makes sport exciting. Again, I'll not go for it because we're not talking about competition as such. We're talking about the eventuality, right? Centrality also follows on the emphasis on outcomes. 1 is fine. Hence, the emphasis on fairness, level playing fields, and anti-doping rules. So, resolution of uncertainty combined with the validation of status rankings. So, uncertainty is done. We know who wins and we know who is ranked where. Validation, that is the validation. So, if someone wins the competition, someone wins, let's say, Wimbledon, then we know that that person is the, it's valid, it's validated that this person is the best. Special thrill in the resolution of a sustained uncertainty about an outcome, and is also behind the appeal of gambling. Gambling is also fine. But in sport, the resolution of the uncertainty is also meant to reflect merit. Sporting competition provides an answer to the question of who deserves to win. Okay, fair enough. So 1 and 4 is what we are torn between. The centrality of numbers, records also follows from this emphasis on outcomes. I will go for 4 more than 1 because who deserves to win, right? So we're talking about the eventuality, who deserves to win. Now, centrality of numbers will explain that outcome where there is an emphasis, but 4 basically says that who deserves to win, there has to be some fairness that is there. And that is why we have anti-doping rules and all those things. We can go for 4. Inspisate, dilute. Okay. Antagonize, oppose, obviate, allow. Okay. Quaff, drink, ossify, harden. So ossify, harden is, I think, synonym. Palliate, alleviate. Palliate, alleviate is also a set of synonyms, I believe. Antagonize, oppose is a pair of synonyms. So I'll eliminate these 3. I don't know what inspisate is, honestly. Dilute, I know what it is. So I'm assuming that they're talking about antonyms there. Obviate, allow, quaff, drink. So obviate is something which will make you forget or will block. Allow is something that allows. So seems to be opposite. I will probably go for this. Not sure of this. The performance doesn't seem to be very good, honestly. Yeah, so we have answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 questions. I'm not very sure, honestly. Yeah, 11 questions we have answered, 15 more to go. We will do it a bit later. We'll try to do a few questions and we'll try to become slightly happier in our lives. Yeah. So let's try to increase this part, and now let's get to solving a bit of quant. I'll solve a few questions just to get warmed up, and then we'll move on to better things or other things in life. Yeah. Obtuse angle triangles, sum of sides as 14, lengths of all sides as integer value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll count it. The maximum value that the minimum value, the maximum value the longest side can take is less than the semi-perimeter. So it will either be 6, 6, 2, 6, 5, 3, 6, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4. That's it, right? So there are only 4 triangles that are possible. I hope I'm right. So basically, I hope all of you know this. So P by 2 will be greater than S will be greater than or equal to P by 3, where P is the perimeter. Again, for those of you who don't know, I'm just explaining this. So these 4 triangles, I believe, are possible. We have to check whether they're obtuse angle or not. That's the second step, but I hope this is right. 6, 6, 2, perfect. 6, 5, 3, 6, 4, 4. 4 is not possible. Fair. So in this case, we will have to do a square plus b square should be less than c square. So a square plus b square should be less than c square. Doesn't work. A square plus b square, 25 plus 9, 34 is less than c square. So this works. 16 plus 16, 32 is less than 36, works. This will definitely not work. Okay. So I am hoping that the answer is 2. So let's see. Difference between the circumscribed circle and the area of the inscribed circle of a square is pi cube by 16 square units. Find the area of the square. Okay, fair enough. So if the side of the square is S, okay, I don't know why this cursor is behaving like this, but let's see. If the side of the square is S, difference between the area of the circumscribed circle. Circumscribed circle will be of radius root 2 S by 2 or S by root 2. I don't know why this is so annoying. Okay. S by root 2 is what we have. I think I should click with the other thing. Okay, so S by root 2 is the radius. So pi into S square by 2 is the area of the circumscribed circle. Inscribed circle will have radius S by 2. So the S by 2 will be the radius. So pi into S square by 4, which gives me pi S square by 4 itself. Half minus 1/4 is 1/4. This is pi cube by 16. I hope pi is out. Okay, 1 pi is out. Pi square is what remains. 4 4s are 16. So S square is pi square by 4. Area has been asked, right? So pi square by 4. I hope I am right. What is the area of the shaded region as shown below? Okay. So, okay. I hope I don't have to do this again. Area of the shaded region, right? So we basically have an equilateral triangle and we have these 3 sectors that exist. And unit radius is the case. So this is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we will have 60, 60, 60. So 180 by 360 into pi into r square. So pi by 2. Pi by 2 is the area of the 3 sectors, and area of the equilateral triangle will be root 3 by 4 into side square. Now side is 2, so 4. So root 3 minus pi by 2 should be the area of the shaded region. I again hope I am right. Dinesh wants to tile a rectangular floor with dimensions 8.5 meters and 6.5 meters. Chessboard format using square shaped black tiles, square shaped white tiles. I don't know why people do this. Side of each tile is 1 meter and these tiles can be cut. How many minimum number of black tiles that will be needed if the side of the smaller square of the chessboard pattern is 0.5 meters? Square shape black tiles and white tiles, side of each tile is 1 meter and these tiles can be cut. Minimum number of black tiles that we will need if the side of each smaller square of the chessboard pattern is 0.5. So 0.15, right? Okay, so what we have here is, okay, this is very annoying now, but 6.5, this is 8.5. So basically 17 tiles here, 13 tiles here. And we basically have something like this. So this is the pattern that exists. 17 by 13, I think is 221, 17 170 and 51 221. Yeah, that is right. 221 such squares will be needed. Minimum number of black tiles. 221 tiles needed, meaning there will be 110 of one type, 111 of another type. Minimum black meaning 110. 110 tiles of 0.5, 0.25 square meter each. One black tile is 1 square meter. So if you have a 1 by 1 tile, how many 0.5 by 0.5 you can do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So 110 by 4 is what we need. 4 2s are 8, 30, 4 7s are 28. I think 28 should be my answer. Yeah, seems right. Let's see. Are they mentioned another 111 पे भी same ही होता answer. So let's see. Okay, Argentina beat Brazil by 5-2. Okay, definitely not in sync with reality. In how many ways the two teams could have scored the goals if at any given point in time in the final match, the number of goals scored by Brazil was always less than the number of goals scored by Argentina. Okay. So Argentina has to score the first goal, whatever happens. Okay. After that, sorry, I have to approve this. Okay, approved. Argentina scores the first goal. Now we have to arrange 4 A's and 2 B's. And Brazil was always less than the number of goals scored by Argentina. I think I'll be able to write it and finish it off quickly. So if I have A, B here, then A, B will have to be followed by A. But if I have A here, it is still wide open. Fair enough. So A, B, A. So A, B, A, B. A, B, A, A is wide open. A, B, A, B, A will have to be the case. Okay, there are only 2 B's that are there. Or maybe I can remove those cases wherein B comes before A. Because once we have 2 A's, then it doesn't matter what B has done, right? So once you have 2 A's, it doesn't matter what the order is. Only if there is these things, then it will matter. And after this also, A, B, A ke baad bhi doesn't matter what happens. Okay, so I have 2 cases. A doesn't matter anything. Anything happens that doesn't matter. And A, B, A, anything after this doesn't matter. Yeah. B cannot be the first goal. A has to be the first goal. A hai to wahi hai. A, B hai to B hai. Chale, fair enough. So I have 3 A's and 2 B's here. And I again have 3 A's and 1 B here. So this is 5 factorial by 3 factorial, 2 factorial, which will be 10. And 4 factorial by 3 factorial, which will be 4. So 10 and 4 is 14. And I'm making some mistake somewhere. Brazil was always less than, okay, oh, it's not this. So it's less than 15 for sure. So either 12 or 9. Okay, no luck here. Brazil is always less than the number of goals scored by Argentina. So if A is here, B cannot be here. A has to be the first. And after that, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. So 3A and 2B we have to do. So again, A, B, B will not work. So 9, I think is there. Okay, I hope I'm right. I have plenty of time, so I'm not taking it very. I'm being slightly more patient than I would have otherwise. So A have to be the first 2 goals, right? Now, if B happens, then it's a problem. Otherwise, everything else is fine, because if it's BA or AB, then B can never be greater than. So 3A to B, 5C, 3, 5 or 5 factor 3 factor 2 factor 5, 10 minus 1. Consider the diagram given below. Okay, considered. O is the center of the circle, radius 4, AC is 4 root 3, okay, AD is equal to DC. Then find the length of side AD. O is the center of the circle, radius 4, AC is 4 root 3, AD is equal to DC. Find the length of side AD. AD is equal to DC. Okay, let's see. So we have a circle. We have some AC here. AD is equal to DC. Let's say this is O. Joined everything. This is 4. This is 4. This is 4 root 3. If I join this, okay, 4, 4 and 4 root 3. So 4, 4, 2 root 3. So 4, 4, 2 root 3 is 4, 2 root 3. So this is 16. This is 12. So this has to be 2, I believe. Yeah, root 3 by 2 times that of the hypotenuse. Yeah, 2 root 3. Fair enough. So this is 2. This has to be 2. This is 2 root 3. So it should again be 4. No, 2 root 3 and 2, right? So 2 root 3 is again, yeah, I think it's 4 itself. I think it's 4. And for good reason. Let's see. In how many ways can 12 identical balls be distributed 4 children? At least 2 and at most 4. Okay. At least 2 and at most 4. A plus B plus C plus D should be equal to 12. At least 2 dena chahiye. So A plus B plus C plus D. Let's give them 2 each. I'm left with 4. Now at most 4 hai. Again, I'm not able to recollect the technical way of doing this, but it doesn't matter. So at most 4 matlab here we are already given 2, right? So we have to give at most 2. So at most 2 meaning we can't give 3 to anyone, we can't give 4 to anyone. So the total number of ways in which we can solve this is 4 plus 4, 8, matlab 7C3, which is 35 ways. 35 ways we'll have to remove the cases wherein we are giving 4 to someone or we are giving 3 to someone. Okay. So if you are giving 4 to someone, that can happen in 4 ways. So this is subtracted. Either 4, okay. 4 to A, B, C, D. So 1 is subtracted. If I'm giving 3 to one person, then 1 to another person, doesn't matter. But if I'm giving 3 to A, then the remaining 3 can be done in 3 ways. 3 to B, 3 ways, 3, 3, 3, 3, 12. So minus 12 again. If I'm giving 2 to someone, then it doesn't make a difference, right? Because I can give at most 4. So except for the 16 cases, the rest of the cases are fine. I think it's 35 minus 16, that is 19. Okay. Rajesh bought more apples than oranges. Good for him. Just give me a second. I'll try to see if one is at the door. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Someone was at the door. Anyway, how much time have we spent? 154 is given. Yeah, check. Well, Rajesh bought more apples than oranges. He sells apples at 36 per apple, profit of 12.5%. Oranges at 25 per orange and makes a profit of 25%. Total SP on selling the apples and oranges is 438. Then what is this profit percent? Okay, so 1/8 profit is made. So the CP of an apple is 32, I believe, and the CP of an orange is 20, I believe. Total selling price on these apples and oranges is 438. Okay, so 36 apples plus 25 oranges is 438. So we know the cost price. We'll have to figure out one particular number which will solve this. More apples than oranges. Now, 36 4s are 108 will not work. So 3 set will not end. So this has to be either 50 or 100. So let's see. 50 or 100. Okay, 138 will not work. 138, 188 should work, right? 36, no, 188 will not work. 188 will not work, yeah. 438, let's say 50 nikal diya. 388, 388 by 36. I don't see it working. 388 by 36 will not work. Let's see. Then if I remove 100, 338 will not work. If I remove 150, 288 will not work. 288 will work, right? 34, 288 will work. Sorry, so 36 4s are 144, 36 8s are 288, and 150. So 6, yeah, I think this is right. Okay. The other options will be far away, right? So 8 and 6, I think is it. Total selling price is 438. Total cost price nikalna hai, and we should be good, right? So 32 into 8, 64 128 to 56 and 20 to 6 120, so 376 is the CP. Profit on CP 438 24 62 by 376 into 100, and okay, the numbers are slightly bad, so 150 28 178, yeah, 31. 178 into what is 31? Okay, I'll do it further. 89 kar lete hain and 3100 na, so 1550, yeah, so 1550 89 89 into, let's go for 15 and see what happens. 15 9s are 135, 15 8s are 120, 1335, but we need 155, so 89 into 16 kar lenge, so I'll have to add 89 to this. So 1435 minus 11, 1424 is what I have. One more I can add, so 17 bhi ho sakta hai. 1424, right? 1424 plus 89, so 1524 minus 11, 1513, 1513. So it will be between 15 was here, 16, 17. So it is between 17 and 18. So 17.28 seems to be the likely option. Duration of a day in two planets A and B is the same. However, the day is divided differently in each planet. In planet A day is divided to 16 hours, each hour into 40 minutes, each minute into 50 seconds. Very good. 12 hours, 60 minutes, 30 seconds. Very good again. Is ended with AM, and the second half is with PM. If it is 7:29:30 in planet A, the time in planet B. The duration of the day is the same. Okay. Let's see if it's the same. 16 into 40 into 50, 12 into 60 into 30. Okay. So the duration of the day has to be a multiple of these two, right? The duration of the day in the two planets has to be equal. Achha, the day is divided to 16 hours, each hour into 40 minutes, and each minute into 50 seconds. Okay. I think I'm missing something. Let's. How many positive integer solutions does the equation x plus y plus z equal to 120 have such that x is greater than 15, y is greater than 18, and z is between 30 to 50? Okay. So x15, y18 we already give, let's say. So x plus y plus z. If I give 15 and 18 to x and y already, so 33 are gone. So I'm left with 87 here. So x plus y plus z is 87 and z is between 30 to 50. Now let's say, for example, z is 31. Then x plus y will be equal to 56. Yeah. So it will have how many positive integer solutions? Positive integer to hona chahiye because we already given 15 to x, 18 to y, and z we already taken 31, so it doesn't matter. X or y in this condition can be 0 as well. So we will have 57 solutions, I believe, right? 0 and 56. So 56 and 0. So 57 solutions to this one. Second case may, if z is 32, let's say, for example, then we will have 32, right? So 55, so 56 solutions. Aise karte z will be 49, then 38 is what will remain, so we'll have 39 solutions. So we have to add 39, 40 se leke 57 tak ke numbers. Okay, so 19 numbers, yeah, 19 into 39 plus 57 by 2, 57, so 96 by 2, 19 into 48, I believe. 19 8s are something 162, yeah, and sorry, what am I doing? 19 8s are 152. Am I right? Yeah, 152. And 19 4s are 76 plus 15 is 91. So 912 is not among the answers. So none of these is an option, but I am not very sure. Okay, let's see. Let's look at it again. X is greater than 15. X has to be at least 16. y has to be at least 19. I think I messed it up. 35 होना चाहिए था ना, so it should have been 85. ठीक है, fair enough. 31, so 54 से लेके 3 कम हो गया ना, so 3 has reduced here. Sorry, if 3 has reduced there, this will also be reduced by 3. So 36 to 54, it has to be still so many solutions. 19 solutions, no? Yeah, 19 solutions, and 19 into 54 plus 36. So 19 into 90 by 2, 19 into 45, 45, 900 minus 45, 8, 855. Okay. I got to solve this. Let's see. So 16 and 19 have gone, 35 have gone, so 85 bacha. Z, if Z is 31, then this will be 54, meaning we'll have 55 solutions, and this is 37 solutions. Yeah, so 37 plus 55 is 92. 37 plus 55, 92. So 46 into 19. 760 plus 114, 874. I think this is right. Donald pledged certain part of the amount with him on betting in a casino. Okay. Rules are that gambler does not get back the money he has pledged. Good. If the gambler wins, he gets 5 times the amount. Losers has to forfeit his entire amount. Very good. Won the only game he played. If he walked out of the casino with 4 times as much money as he had when entered the casino, then what is the ratio of the amount he took to the casino and the amount he actually pledged? Oh. Okay. Let's say we'll look at the options directly. So let's say he had taken 2 rupees and he pledged 1 rupee. He won the only game that he had played. So one he got 5. One he lost, but he got 5. So 5 plus 2, 7 is what we came out with. Doesn't make sense because he came out with 4 times the amount of money. So 5 tha, 3 he pledged, 3 went away. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. So 2 was there. 1 he pledged. He got 5. But the effective winning was 4. So he went in with 2. He came out with 4. 4 plus 1, yeah. So 5 is what we came out with. Doesn't make sense. He went in with 5. He pledged 3. He would have got 15, but 12 ho gaya. Plus 2 is 14. Again, it is not 4 times of what happened. 4 is to 3. So 4 rupees he went in with. 3 rupees he pledged. 3 ka he would have won 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. Again, 4, 13 doesn't make sense. 5 में से 4 he pledged. 4 for the 16 he got. 16 plus 1, 17 doesn't make sense. And last option is 3 is to 1. He went in with 3 rupees. He pledged 1. He got 4 because 1 went and 4 came. 5 came. So 4 effectively. 4 came, right? So 4 plus 2, 6 is what he came out with. Let me check this once. Certain part. Pledged nahi milta. Wins he gets 5 times he originally pledged. Forfeit. Only game he played. Walked out with 4 times as much. Okay, let me see. Again, we'll try to do this. Money he took to the casino, 2 rupees he took, let's say, he pledged 1 rupee. So he basically has 1 rupee in his reserve. Because 1 rupee he didn't pledge at all. So that is there with him. And 1 rupee jo pledge kiya tha, uspe he won 5. So he got 5. So 6. Okay. I think I was missing something. Let's see. 5 में से 3 he pledged. So he has 2 left. And 3 ka he got 3 5 15 he got. So 17. Still not right. Yeah. 4 he had entered with. 3 he pledged. So 1 uska pehle se tha. And 3 5 15 is what he got. So this is 16. Yeah, this I think is the answer. Okay, I'm taking a lot of time for simpler questions as well. Okay, so 5 4 1 is what he has, and 4 5 20 is what he has. So 21. Okay, and last one is 3 is to 1. So 3 1 is there. 3 and 1 is there. So 2 he had, and 1 5 5 7 doesn't make sense. Yeah, 4 is okay. I think I'll have to do this again. I'm sorry again, lot of deliveries happening today. All right, so what we have here is a triangle. 2 times length of HG is equal to length of AG. Okay, seems tempting. Let's give it a try once, then we will move on if it doesn't make sense. Okay, this, okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, so twice length HG is AG. So twice length HG is X, is twice length HG is AG, so XX. Thrice length BC is AC. So if this is Y, this is 2Y. Thrice length BC is AC. Twice length GF is AF. Twice length GF is AF. Yeah, so this is 2x. Yeah, this is 2x, and 5 times length CD is AD. So 5 times length CD. So this is Z, then 5Z is equal to AD. 3y plus Z. So 4Z. 3/4 of Y. I hope I'm right. Okay. 5 times length CD. 15y by 4. 3.75. And 3.75. Yeah, perfect. 6 times length FE is AE. 6 times length FE is AE. Again, let's say this is 6. FE is K. So 6K is 4x plus K. So 4 by 5. Okay. Areas of triangles DFE to CFD. DFE to CFD. Okay, we can maybe look at it in terms of the entire triangle ka area. So DFE is to the entire triangle. Okay, so DFE is DFE upon ADE, if I look at it, is nothing but 4 by 5 divided by 4 plus 4 by 5. So 4.5, right? 4 plus 4 by 5 is 24 by 5. Yeah, okay. So 1 by 6. So DFE upon ADE is 1/6. And दूसरा कौन सा है? CFD. So CFD divided by this entire thing, AFD. CFD upon AFD is 3y by 4 or 3 by 4 divided by 3 plus 3 by 4. 3 plus 3 by 4 is 15 by 4. So 1 by 5, right? So this is 1 by 5. Now AFD, if this is 1 by 6, then AFD is 5. So let's say ADE pura triangle is 6 units. The entire triangle is 6 units. DFE is 1 unit. ADE is 5 units. And CFD is 1/5 of AFD. So CFD is also 1. So 1:1. Oh, I took a lot of time. Okay. Two numbers in base system K are 2032K and 123K. The sum of these two numbers in decimal system is 169. Find the difference in base system K. Sum in decimal is 169. Okay, let's see. So 2K cube plus 3K plus 2 plus K square plus 2K plus 3 is 169. So 2K cube plus K square plus 5K is 164 is what we have. Find the difference in base system K. Okay, so in this case, if I look at it, K has to be at least 4, right? So 4 cube is 64 to the K has to be equal to 4 because 5 cube will make it 250. So K has to be 4. Base system is 4. I'll just check one. 64 to the 128. 128 plus 16, 144. 144 plus 20, 164. K is 4. Now we have to find the difference of these two numbers. I should have been able to do it normally, but okay, so it doesn't matter. I'll find the two numbers and do it and then convert it back. That is much easier, right? So 4 cube is 64 to the 128. 128 plus 12 is 140 plus 2, 142. And 4 square 16. 16 plus 8, 24 plus 3, 27. So 115 is the difference. Now I have to convert it into base 4. 115 in base 4. Okay. So 4 cube is 64. So 1 times 64. So 1 dash dash dash. 64, 36, 15, 51 is left. 16 threes are 58 will go. So 1 3 something, 1303 I think is the answer. 16 threes are 48, I think. Lengths of sides of two rhombuses differ by 2. One of the diagonals for each of the rhombuses is of the same length as that of its side. Product of the area is 168.75. Sorry, follow this. Okay, lengths of sides of two rhombuses differ by 2. One of the diagonals for each of the rhombuses is the same length as that of its side. Product of their areas is 168.75. Okay, so side of rhombus 1 is x, side of rhombus 2 is x plus 2, let's say. Smaller rhombus का भी ठीक है. One of the diagonals for each of the rhombus is the same length as that of its side. Okay. One of the diagonals, no? So if this is x, one of the diagonals is also x. So this is x by 2, x by 2. So this will be what? Root 3x by 2. Yeah. So the other diagonal is root 3x. So if one diagonal is x, the other diagonal becomes root 3x. If one diagonal is x plus 2, the other diagonal should ideally become root 3 into x plus 2. So let's see if this works. But root 3, take it. Let's see. Okay, product of the areas. Nice. Half into product of the diagonals. So half into x into root 3x into x plus 2 into root 3 into x plus 2 is 168.75. I'm slightly sad that it does not become a number, but okay, x into x plus 2 the whole square. I hope we get a square here. Is equal to something into 2 divided by 3. 168 to the 336, 337.5. Divided by 3, 1s are 3, 1s are 3, 2s are 6, 3 5s are 15, 112.5 is a very sad number. What am I missing? One more. Okay, so I do these kind of funny things during the test, and I got saved because of the options, but fair enough. Okay. I got saved. 168.75, 336, 336 is into 2, 336 into 2 is 672, 672 plus 675, 675 in divided by 3, 2s are 6, 2s are 6, 225, x into x plus 2 is 15, 3 5s are 15, chota diagonal is, chota side is 3. Function is defined as follows. For x equal to 1, this will happen. For x greater than 1, the other thing will happen. F20 निकालना है, ठीक है? So for x equal to 2, right? F2 will be nothing but minus 3x. So minus 3 to the minus 6 minus 2. So minus 8. F1 is 2. F2 is minus 8. F3 is minus, so 24. Minus of minus 8 plus 8, 32. F4 will be minus 32 minus 96. Minus 96 minus 32 minus 128. So it's multiplication by 4 for some reason. I don't know what I'm missing. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Oh, it's my 3x. Okay, I'm so sorry. I did something funny here. Okay, I'm able to resume. Thankfully, we are on again. Just give me a second. So these kind of things can happen during your test as well. Make sure that you are not rattled. Okay. So F1 is 2. F2 is minus 3 2s are minus 6. Minus 2 is minus 8. F3 is 3 into minus 3 is minus 9. Minus 9 minus of minus 8 is 1. F4 is minus 12. Minus 12 minus 1 is minus 13. Okay, let's see if I can find the pattern. F5 is minus 15. So minus 15 minus of minus 13 is minus 2. F6 is minus 18 plus 2. Minus 18 plus 2 is minus 16. So how are we moving here? Okay, F7, let's say. I think I'll be able to do it more quickly if I do it now. 7 is minus 20 minus 16 minus 5. F8 is minus 24 minus 19. F9 is, okay, so I can see some pattern. Minus 13 minus 16 minus 19. Let's see if it works. F9 is minus 27, so minus 8. I think we are getting a pattern now. Yeah. F10 is minus 30 22. Yeah, it's following a pattern. So F10 is minus 22. F12 minus 25, F14 minus 28, F16 minus 31, F17 minus 34, okay, I messed it up. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 25, and we have to add 15 more, so minus 37 या कुछ आना चाहिए. Hope my calculation is right. F2 was right, minus 6 minus 2 is minus 8. Minus 9 minus 9 minus 8 is minus 1. Very good. Minus 12 minus of minus 1 is minus 11. Okay. Okay. So F1 is 2. F2 is minus 8. F3 is minus 9 minus 1. F4 is minus 12 minus of minus 1 minus 11. F5 is minus 15, so minus 4. F6 is now the pattern of 3 is following, right? Yeah. F6 should be minus 14, right? 6 is minus 18, 18 minus 1 minus 14. Yeah, perfect. Okay, very good. So minus 8, minus 11, minus 14. And we have 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 7 more. So 7 these are 21, minus 14, minus 35, I think is the answer. Okay. The questions are, how many minutes are it? 129 is left, right? We have the entirety of DM to go. And we also have to solve those RCs. 4 boys, 4 girls. No 2 girls are sitting next to each other. This seems to be an easy one, but again, no 2 girls are sitting next to each one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say there are these 4 boys, A, B, C, D. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Out of these 5 places, 2 places have to be 4 places have to be filled. So 5C 4 ways में 4 places डाल सकते हैं. 4 factorial, 4 factorial. So 24, 576 into 5. 2500, 380, 2880, I think is the answer. Let's see. Then we have 100 players. The graph depicts the number of ODIs played by the top 100 players every year during the last 7 years. Where is the graph? Okay, this is the graph. Number of matches played by the bottom 25 players is this one. Okay, what is this? So this is horizontal scrolling. I think because, okay, very good. 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 19, 20, 73 questions in that set. Okay. Different years, there are some marks that have been given. English is a circle, physics is a square, maths is a cross, chemistry is a triangle. Okay. I hope to spot the things properly. Okay. Let's see. Average marks in different subjects for the different years in college XYZ. Which subject shows the maximum increase in average marks over any 2 consecutive years? Okay. Maximum increase पूछा है ना, ठीक है. So we can't look at the falling marks. Increase may I have to look at something which was at the very bottom and suddenly shot to the top. I can see this one present here. This is maths, I believe, right? The last one, the cross is the maths one. Yeah, cross is maths. So I can see something that was at 50 again shot up to 90, so 80% increased. Don't seem to find anything else which increased by this amount. I think this one increased. This thing, whatever this shape is, increased by 30, but 60 became 90. So I think maths is the answer. What is the percentage? What is the difference between percentage increase in the average marks in maths and chemistry in 2017 over the previous year? 2017 marks in maths and chemistry. Maths and chemistry. Maths is XX. Okay, so maths was 70. 70 became 80. Difference between the percentage increase. 70 became 80. So maths 70 to 80. 1 by 7, 14.28%. And chemistry is what? Chemistry is a triangle. So triangle, I hope this is a triangle. 50 becomes 60, so 20%. So 5.72 or 5.8 or 5.7. Let's see. Sum total of the average marks in 4 subjects in 2021 decreased, increased in 2020. So 2021, I have to just add the numbers. The numbers are there. I think 55 plus 60, 115, 115 plus 75, 190, 190 plus 80, 270. So 270 was the case in 2021. In 2020, what happened? 2020, it's better if I look at it here. 50 plus 70, 120, 120 plus 90, 210, and 85, 295. So 295 to 270. So 25 decrease on a base of 295. 8%, I believe. Yeah, 8 5s are 48, 9 72, 76, 8 to the 16, 2 3 6 0. Yeah, some 8% decrease, I think. Let's see. Prakash, Prashant, and Prasad are playing a game called Game of Numbers. In the game, Prakash and Prashant initially take a 4-digit number. Numbers taken by the two may not be equal. Individual doesn't know Prasad. However, Prakash and Prashant don't know the numbers taken by each other. Yeah, I don't think Prasad will be very happy to see this question. Let's see. Ordered pair of two numbers in his mind announces the following: the number of digits common between the numbers taken by Prakash and Prashant. Number of common digits between the numbers taken by Prakash and Prashant at the same places. Acha, okay. A is 2. Why? Because 1 and 7 are at the same place and the same digits. Okay. Three, 8, 2, 9 and 8, 1, 7, 6. Then 8 is one number which, and 8 is one number only. Na? So A is 1. Okay. I didn't understand this. Acha, A and B both as 2. Okay, I didn't see B. Okay, so this is more or less like cows and bulls. So let's see what happens. So A is basically numbers that are present at the same place and the same number. And B is basically the numbers that are present but at incorrect places. Acha, okay. A is 1. A is basically numbers common and B is at the same places. Okay, understood. Okay, understood. So A and B as 4 and 2. So what Prasad is saying is both of them had common numbers. All 4 numbers were common, but out of which 2 were basically present at the same place as well. right? Two are present in the same place. So now these two could be same, or these two could be same, 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 or what else? These two could be same. 6 is. So an ordered pairs is also the case here. So I'll have to look at two options which are twice of each other, but that is not the case. So that is not a clue. A is 4. So both of them are following the same 4 numbers. So let's say, for example, distinct तो नहीं बोला है ना? Without repetition of the digits. So 9876. Let's say 9876 is the total number of cases that exist. 72 into 42. 42 2s are 84. 42 7s are 280. 14 to 94 and 83024. So many numbers are possible. Without repetition of the digits. The numbers taken by the two may or may not be. Now both of them cannot be the same. Okay, I don't think I'm able to comprehend this. Seems too difficult. So there's one more question. And one more question. And something else. Okay, candlestick chart. Okay, candlesticks generally don't look like this. Are we talking about volumes as well here? And the volume, yeah. So volume is also given. Okay, I hope you are talking about the OHLC, which generally happens open, high, low, close. Let's see. Volume is represented on the left axis. So there's a left axis as well. Left axis now. Oh. Now volume is on the left axis. Good. Okay. For all the shares, the number traded is a multiple of 5,000. The price is dependent on the right axis. Price is right axis. OHLC were multiples of 5. White or a black rectangle. So white rectangle is basically when it rises. Black is basically when it closes below. Upper wick is this thing. Okay, let's see. Highest price on that day was at most 50% more than the opening price of that day. So price is on the right axis. Highest price was opening price. Now black, I am assuming, is from top to bottom. So highest was 50% more than the price on that day. So if you look at Infosys 45 pe tha, it went till 55. High went till 60. Right? So sorry, Infosys ka high went till 55. So it opened at 45, high went till 55. At most 50%. So Infosys is correct. Wipro is not doing well. Those of you who trade, I don't know if you have observed, but Wipro is not exactly doing well, right? 40 tha, it became 60. Was at most 50%. Opening was niche na, for this one. Opening was 25. So opening was 25, high was 60. So definitely no. So one in pieces is what we're looking at. Mohindra ka high and close are the same. So 40 was the opening, high was 50. So fair enough. So Mohindra is also right. Rel is open was 50, high was 65. Fair enough. This is also fine. And LT ke liye opening was 35, high was 70. So no. So 3 I think is the answer. Again, I'm relying purely on my judgment. I'm saying that black candle is a negative day, white candle is the positive day. So green and red. I just check once. Top of the upper wick, okay. Lowest price, top and bottom of the candle represent the opening, and black color opening is higher than the closing price. Opening is higher than the close. So basically it fell during the day. I think it's right. First, the following companies or the volume of shares traded at highest price maximum on that particular Monday. Number of shares traded at highest price. How do we know that? Average price is the arithmetic mean of the lowest and the highest traded price. Lowest and the highest. I don't know. Can be determined. I don't think so. How will you know? Highest price, the maximum on that particular Monday. I don't think we can say anything, right? I don't know. I'm getting into technicalities here. I'm not sure. Exactly 60% of the shares that were bought or sold on Monday were bought or sold at the average price. Average was high plus low by 2. And the remaining were equally bought or sold at the lowest and the highest price, which of the following was the third most traded in rupees. 60% were bought or sold. Okay, this is something that I can solve, but I'll take some time to do this. Okay, all right. I think we have gone through that tough section. 117. Okay, so I still have 75 minutes. I think we are on track. I think we are not done a bad job here. Quant, we have missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. 20 we have already done. Fair enough, not bad. Now let's look at DM. You understand the importance of teamwork in your job. As the team leader, you share ideas and responsibilities with your team members on a daily basis. In your weekly team meeting with your supervisor, one of your co-workers takes credit for a time and money-saving change in the operating procedures you devised. Your supervisor erroneously thinks your co-worker came up with the change, and your co-worker does not correct the misrepresentation but allows the boss to not only commend him but offer a bonus. Do you go to your co-worker and explain that he should correct the situation and give credit where it's due? Okay. Go to supervisor, explain that the recognition award given to the co-worker must be rescinded. Again, not you can explain what you did, but you can't do this. Keep quiet because you do not believe in ownership of ideas. No. Do not cooperate in the implementation of the change and leave it to your co-worker. No. Explain to the supervisor that the idea was originally yours and the team must receive the commendation and reward, which is fine. I think this is a balanced opinion. Go to the co-worker and explain that he should correct the situation. Clearly, the co-worker doesn't want to do it or has not really mentioned it. So again, I think you have to go to the supervisor because the error is on the supervisor's side, and I think that should work. The rapid transport company RTC, which calculates its bus fares on the distance traveled, is the preferred choice of long distance commuters in Rampur. Revenue started declining in early 2010. Bus fares on the distance traveled. Okay. Substantially increased bus fares across the city. This caused the number of commuters to decrease. However, the data found that although the number of commuters had decreased, the company's annual revenues had not decreased. So yeah, the increase in pricing was more than the percentage decrease in yield. Buses are the fastest mode of transport available to long distance commuters living in far-flung areas of the city. Very good, because they charge the fare on the basis of this thing, the distance that has been traveled. So long distance commuters don't really have any option to go for, right? Many private transporters also started operating. Doesn't matter. How does it result in the RTC's revenues not getting decreased? The RTC had started a monthly pass system for its regular commuters. End of the year that we are talking about it. So monthly pass and the revenue ka we can't really say if there is some relation. Local train fares has also increased at the same time as the increase in bus fares by the rapid transport company. But then again, if the train fares are increased, but then the train is a much quicker way of reaching from place A to place B, then they would actually eat into the revenues of the RTC, right? So although yes, tangentially it is fair, but then again I can't say that. But because the number of commuters has decreased, and that this option does not account for the number of the numbers having decreased. Although the number of short distance travelers had reduced, the number of people traveling long distance had remained constant. Now again, this does not say anything. It is right in a way. Number of short distance travelers had reduced, so the impact on the revenue was less. The number of people traveling long distance had remained constant, so they remained constant, and they had to pay more. So this explains the paradox, but I think the first one is much better. But then again, we don't know how many people are living long distance, right? So 5 explains it in a better manner. So 2, 3, 4 are definitely out. 1 and 5 remains. Buses are the fastest mode of transport available to the long distance commuters living in the far-flung areas of the city, which is fine. But again, is the number of long distance commuters significantly high or something? We don't know. This we can say long distance has remained constant, short distance has reduced, the pricing has increased, so everyone has to pay more. I think this 5 is better than 1. Let's see. Ravi is an employee of Exhibitors Limited. He travels on company business to trade shows and exhibitions. Ravi had traveled from Mumbai to Jaipur on Sunday for a trade show. The journey took 12 hours. He worked Monday through Wednesday at the trade show and wanted to extend his time in Jaipur by using casual leaves. Okay. He discussed this with the concerned HR manager, who said that Thursday and Friday would be adjusted against his casual leaves. Since Saturday and Sunday were company holidays, Ravi's leave balance would not be deducted for those 2 days. However, Ravi thought that this was not fair and only one casual leave of his should be deducted. Okay, why is that the case? Monday through Wednesday he worked, and Thursday and Friday would be adjusted in CL. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. Let's see. Ordinarily, he would have traveled back to Mumbai on Thursday and it would not have been considered a leave. Yeah, I think this is fine. Ordinarily, he would have resumed work on Friday. No, he will go to the Jaipur branch and work that too. He has not committed at all, and it would not be good if he says that. He signed on more clients and he was expected to. No, that doesn't make any sense. He has not taken a single leave and no, it doesn't matter. So I think this is fine. Yeah, he would have traveled back on Thursday, and that's why he thinks that anyway I was traveling back on Thursday. Instead of traveling back on Thursday, I'll travel back on Sunday or something, and I'll join back on Monday. So yeah, you should deduct only 1 leave because I'm sacrificing that travel time. I would have anyway not worked. I think this is okay. Okay, Ravi is still an employee. HR decides to introduce a new clause in the official travel policy. Employees will now be expected to travel back as soon as their assignment has been completed. Thus, in cities where making a night journey is possible, employees will be required to travel at night rather than spend the night in that city. Valid reason is not a valid reason. Okay, employees want to return home as soon as possible rather than spending a night hanging out by themselves in a strange city. Yes, it's a valid reason. They will happily accept what the HR has to say. Employees will be able to start working on the client's order the next day itself. Fair enough. Employees will be compensated for their night journey by being paid overtime. It's not a reason. It's making the policy lucrative. So 3, I'm not sure. Will save the money to otherwise would have spent on lodging and boarding. Fair enough. Yes, it's a valid reason. Work delays can be prevented as the employees will not travel during working hours. Again, fair enough. So yeah, I think third one, will be compensated, is not a valid reason for framing the policy. It is basically something that is making it more lucrative for the organization. I think that is it. Okay, what is this? Sumit started his career as a marketing executive in a well-known logistics company. 2 years ago, he saw a good business opportunity in courier services and started Quick Couriers. Okay. Sumit had recruited Gopal, a fresh graduate from a low-income family, as his assistant to manage routine office work. Sumit found Gopal hardworking and enthusiastic, showing keen interest in learning other aspects of the business. Soon, Gopal rose to the position of assistant operations manager. Okay, Sumit and Gopal. Okay. Quick Courier's core strength was its streamlined operations. The key person behind this was the dynamic chief operations manager, Vineet. Okay, so assistant operations manager and chief operations manager, Vineet. Quick Couriers became a well-known player in the market and grew from having 20 staff members to having over 300. Recently, Quick Couriers got a major contract of servicing 500 branches of Hind Bank. This is a critical project. It would double Quick Couriers profits, and if serviced well, could lead to similar contracts from the major banks. So what happened? Did they fight? Things were moving satisfactorily, but then a family emergency required. We need to go overseas, and so he resigned. Okay. This came at a time when Sumit was extremely busy planning a new premium service called Flyout, which would be the first in India for achieving the same-day deliveries across cities. Sumit was continually traveling to establish collaborations with a few airlines. In order to fill the void left by Vineet's departure, Sumit promoted Gopal to the position of chief operations manager with a good raise and perks. Okay, good for Gopal. So question क्या है? What should have been Sumit's reasons for making Gopal the chief operations manager rather than selecting an outside candidate for the post? Oh, Gopal is already conversant with the role, having been the assistant operations manager. Fair enough. Yes. Selecting Gopal would encourage the other employees to perform better. Slightly tangential, but yes. Gopal was from a low-income family and needed extra income. No, I don't think that should have been the reason. Quick Couriers would save on costs involved in advertising and recruiting. Very, very tangential reason. Sumit wanted to concentrate on expanding his business. Again, not really related to Gopal, right? So 1, 2, and 4 seem nice. Yeah, 1 to 4 seem nice to me, honestly. Okay, I'll go with this. Let's see. Sumit received a complaint from the head office of Hind Bank that an urgent package was still undelivered and that there had been many instances in the last month of important packages not being delivered on time. Sumit was shocked but promised the Hind Bank officer that he would resolve their problems immediately. Right? So Sumit promised them. Okay. If you were Sumit, what actions would you take? Okay, so Sumit received a complaint and he said that last month there was a lot of issue. He promised that they would do something. What is the question? So, okay, there are 3 responses. Check with the accounts department whether Hind Bank has cleared all its dues or not. Okay. He has promised that they will resolve. So, what is the point of checking the dues now, right? Doesn't make sense. Call the owners of the other courier companies to find out if they are facing similar problems. Not really something that I would think about directly, right? It might be a global phenomenon, yes, but not my first response. Find out the reasons for repeated delays. Yes, 3 is perfectly fine. Ask Gopal to come up with an action plan to prevent such delays in the future. Yes, but not again. Yeah, I'll first find the reasons, right? So 3 and 4 look fine. Take measures to expedite the delivery of the packages like undelivered. Yeah, so 1 package that was undelivered, yes, so that has to be done. So 5 is also fine. So 3, 4, 5 look fine. Ask Gopal to put his resignation as clearly been in there. I think 3, 4, 5. Okay, these are looking slightly obvious. So I'm not sure if I'm making obvious mistakes as well. Let's see. Sumit had believed Gopal to be a promising employee. So he had recently promoted Gopal to top position in operations, was becoming lax, and sometimes Sumit was unaware of his whereabouts. Gopal was focusing on training and developing his juniors anymore, and some of them had even complained about his standoffish behavior. Gopal hadn't come up with any new ideas for improving the operations for quite some time. And Sumit questioned him, explained that he had been preoccupied with some personal problems. Gopal even asked for a personal loan, which he said would help solve his problems. Okay? If you are in Sumit's place, how would you deal with Gopal? Remind Gopal that personal problems should not be allowed to affect work performance. Okay. Ask Gopal to promise that he will start concentrating on his work once you give him the loan. No, not really. Give the loan to Gopal, asking him to improve performance. Not really. Deny the loan to Gopal, stating that his unsatisfactory performance has already weakened the company's reputation. But again, okay, deny. But what is happening with the issue? The issue has not been addressed, right? Understand Gopal's problem. Give him some time to improve his performance and attitude towards his work. Okay. Okay, so we don't know, right? So personal problems are there, agree, but giving the loan doesn't make the problems go away. But then again, he has been with the company for a long time, knows a lot of things. But I would still not give that loan to Gopal. But then again, this is again something where my personal opinions might come into the picture. So that's a different story, right? So we are saying remind Gopal that personal problems should not be allowed to affect Gopal. We can't really say that, right? We have to be slightly humane as well, considering what all Gopal has done for the company. Anyway, 4 and 5. So deny the loan to Gopal, stating that is doesn't matter. I think this is still balanced. Understand Gopal's problems, give him some time to improve his performance and attitude towards his work. So we can talk to Gopal, understand his problems. He has already stated that he has some issues, some personal issues. So let him deal with it, and then maybe they can sit and figure out as to what. But giving a loan doesn't really make a lot of sense to, as in for Sumit in this particular case. Okay, let's see. Matthew works as a counselor in a large organization. He has been seeing a client for work-related stress for some time. He receives an anonymous letter about his client, which states that it is important he knows that the client has mental health problems. Okay. It then goes on to detail things the client has allegedly said or done in the workplace. The client does not know that Matthew has received such a letter. Matthew also does not wish to cause the client further distress by declaring it, given that it is anonymous. Which of the following courses of action is or are appropriate for Matthew? Should let the client know about the letter, explain the contents to him, and counsel him in a general way. A person should not indulge in such behavior. Okay, but it's not known if it is true or not. Allegedly, here, so alleged things are different than things that are proven and convictions, right? So it's just been allegedly said. Okay. So one, I don't know if you should just break the as in the truth or whatever the contents of the letter to the client. So it doesn't make sense. without mentioning the address of the client, Matthew should explain that there will always be unfriendly people who may want to harm him and he should run with. Not really. That doesn't make anything, right? Should ignore the letter and conduct his business? No. Without divulging about the letter, Matthew should try to find out from his client whether his client would likely commit such acts as mentioned in the letter and counsel him against non-indulgence. This seems to be a very sane way of dealing with things. Should bring it to the notice of the authorities and aim to establish a policy to deal with the anonymous name. Or I think is much more sensitive and practical. Okay. The world's cheapest smartphone has just turned out to be that, a cheap fraud. Last week, the CEO of Noida-based Pinging Bells Private Limited, okay, this rings a bell, which owns phone brand Demo 251. Yeah, I don't know how many of you know about this, but I think this is a wordplay on something that happened. Freedom 251, right? Was arrested after an FIR was filed by Ghaziabad-based Atma Enterprises, accusing Pinging Bells of defrauding it to the tune of INR 16 lakhs. The CEO was arrested. Someone, Atma Enterprises, 16 lakhs fraud was conducted. ET report, research is on for 4 more directors that launched the world's cheapest smartphone last year. In the FIR, Malay Garotra, a distributor of Atma Enterprises, claimed that in November 2015, the CEO and other company officials persuaded it to take the ownership of Demo 251 smartphone, expected to cost only rupees 151. The company stated in the FIR, we paid 30 lakhs to Pinging Bells through RTGS on different occasions, but it delivered us products worth 13 lakhs only. They only get the remaining products plus money totaling to 14 lakhs. So 16 lakhs the fraud has been conducted. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Would strengthen Atma Enterprises complaint against Pinging Bells in descending order of effectiveness. Descending. So largest, then less, then less. Strengthen karna. Okay. Reports which reveal the company started accepting pre-booking without having its own manufacturing facility. Very good. So we'll strengthen their complaint. They're not manufacturing it at all. The company's claims of having sold over 2 lakh units of the phone in various Indian states have been contested by its distributors. Okay, fair enough. The consignment of mobile phones that Pinging Bell supplied to Atma Enterprises had to be recalled entirely due to battery issues. No, I think they have not delivered on their promise. That's why maybe. What is the complaint? The complaint is distributorship kya tha? 30 lakhs. Products they delivered were 13 lakhs. 14 lakhs the products they delivered. Okay, what does it? Remaining products plus money totaling to 14 lakhs mila end of it, right? So fourth, I don't think is a problem. Not a major problem as such. So I would not really go for it as the first option. So 1 and 4, I think should be out. 3, 1 and 2 remain. Entirely due to battery issues again, but that is not an issue, right? That is not a problem that exists. So 1 or 2 is the largest one. See, 1 pre-booking without having its manufacturing facility doesn't mean anything. They might have constructed a manufacturing facility and they might have started manufacturing it. So I don't know 1 as well. 2, let's say, if I look at 2, the company claims of having sold over 2 lakh units of the phone in various Indian states have been contested by its distributors. 2. 4 is whatever they procured something. 3 is consignment had to be recalled entirely to battery issues. But 1 is also a serious offense by this. So 1 cannot be the last one as well. So I have to rethink the 4 bit. Okay, 4, let's say. But how will 4 affect inka ye, right? So 4 should not be the first one. That much I'm fine. But 4 could be the last one as well, right? So let's say I'm talking about options 2, 3, and 5 because 4 can't be the first one, I think. So third, first. So first might be the one because first is also pretty serious if you look at it. But yeah, as I said, they might have started it later and made it later, but then again, it does not justify anything, right? You can't have a manufacturing plant and start taking orders. That is not ethical. Okay, let's see. I don't know. I'm not very sure of this. But then I take my half chances in DM, right? Suresh had recently joined Olive Technology, a software development company, as an intern. He is currently under a 6-month probation period, after which, based on his performance evaluation, he might get a permanent job internally. He is the sole earning member of his family, and a permanent position would help him better his and his family's financial position tremendously. He reports to Jagdish. Suresh reports to Jagdish, who has of late been under tremendous pressure since his team has not been able to meet its targets for this quarter so far. Jagdish's performance review is due in a month. In between his daily tasks, whenever Suresh finds time, he works independently to enhance his skills and translate any good ideas he has into reality. Within a month of his joining, in his own time, Suresh developed software which would streamline HR process in any organization. He shares the details of this with Jagdish, hoping it will get him a good rating. Jagdish tests the software and finds it very good. He's thinking of presenting Suresh's development as his own to reduce the pressure that has been building on him. He thinks that he can convince Suresh to go along with the scheme by seducing him with a raise and a permanent position. Very good. Which of the following would be the most beneficial alternative for Jagdish? Present the software to his manager as having been developed by his entire team. Okay. Speak to the manager and buy more time to meet its targets? Not really. Present the software jointly with Suresh in a manner that makes both of them look good? Again, both of them look good doesn't mean that he's doing it in an ethical manner, right? So let's see. Most beneficial alternative should be to whatever practical option is to say that he had done it, but I don't think that is the answer. Give full credit to Suresh while presenting the software to his manager. Okay. Present the manager software to his manager's own development. 5 भी नहीं चलेगा. I think 1 or 4. Entire team करने से Suresh doesn't get the credit, right? So I think this is still fine. You present the software to the manager and at least try to say that Suresh developed the software because he was reporting to you, and maybe the entire thing gets tied together nicely because it is Suresh's work, right? Suresh can't not get credit. I would have hated for that to happen if I were Suresh. Okay, let's see. Jagdish wants to present the software to the management as his own. He persuades Suresh to this end and tells him about the plans he has for Suresh's future. Suresh is unsure and asks Jagdish for time to think things through. What should Suresh do? Should not accept, right? Tell Jagdish that he is not willing to share the credit. Bypass Jagdish and talk to his boss and tell him what Jagdish is up to. Leave the organization? Not really. Allow Jagdish? Not really. Confide in colleagues? Not really. Bypass Jagdish? Not really. Tell Jagdish that he is not willing to share the credit. Yeah, how does it matter? You do not take credit. Which of the following situations has triggered this behavior from Jagdish? Not being able to meet his targets, Suresh's lack of assertiveness? Not really. Suresh developing the product without informing? Not really. Greedy and immoral nature? Again, because we have been told that of late he has been under tremendous pressure because his team has not been able to meet its quarterly targets. Greedy and immoral nature to nahi bola, I think. So I don't know. Suresh's financial situation? Not really. I think 1. That has triggered the behavior, right? So Jagdish is not, I don't know if he's greedy and immoral in general. Okay. What measures should the organization take to avoid situations like this one? They should have sort of, I don't know, a suggestion box or a mail or a forum wherein people who are still newcomers can discuss their ideas in public so that they don't run the risk. Let's see. Allocate resources to employees only after project details are documented and approved by the management. I don't know. Have teams with clearly defined roles and responsibilities for clarity of work. Monitor the participation of people in various projects for a fair evaluation. Okay, what has happened? I don't know. To avoid situations like this one, situation is basically that the new guy is not able to pitch his product. Allocate resources to employees only after the project details are documented and approved by the management. But how does it avoid situations like clearly defined roles and responsibilities for clarity of work? Monitor the participation of people in various projects for a fair evaluation. I like 3, but I don't like 1 and 2. And management will also involve Jagdish, no? So if he has to report it to Jagdish first, Suresh, then again it might be a problem. Clearly defined roles and responsibilities again doesn't make a lot of sense. They might have responsibilities and roles and responsibilities, but Suresh did something in addition to whatever his responsibilities. So 2 I don't think is a good option. 3 might be a good one. one might also be a good one because but resources and all I don't know. I'm tempted to mark none of the above as the answer. So let's see. I'll do this. Tina is the General Manager Marketing at Communicate India, CI, a telecom hardware company. She has been with CI right from its inception and has won accolades for her performance over the years. She has applied for a 6-month management program in London, which requires students to be on campus for the duration of the program. In the past, CI has encouraged employees to enroll in such programs and join back once the programs have been completed. Over the last few months, the telecom regulatory body has revised some policies which has changed the market dynamics drastically and impacted the market adversely. This change has impacted all major players in the market. CI's revenues have dropped and it is struggling to stay afloat. Using this opportunity, PhoneSpace India, one of the leading telecom, is proposed to acquire CAI and the acquisition is underway. Very good. As a part of the acquisition process, CI will have to let go of most of its employees to avoid duplication of resources. Correct. Tina is worried about losing a position to Rakesh, the general manager marketing at PSI, is a very good performer. He's a single pay rate who has been to the organization for approximately the same time as Tina has been with CI. He also has more years of experience and has a degree from Iran B School, doing higher revenue projects. Tina has been told informally by managers she won't be terminated, but she won't feel completely secure till the announcement due in a month is made. Amidst all this, Tina finds out that she has got admission into the management program and will have to leave for 6 months. In 3 months' time, she fears that she knew she would have an assured job after 6 months, but now she's scared that if she loses her current job, it might be tough for her to get on later. Hard day jobs are the market right now, and fair. So good case. Which of the following factors is the root cause of this internal conflict that Tina is dealing with? Because of the acquisition and because there are 2 people and because of the downsizing rumors and everything. Yeah, I think this is the one. Let's see. Revision in telecom policies, no, that's too far-fetched. Overlap of the skill sets of Tina and Rakesh could be. CI's inability to stay afloat, not really. Lack of job opportunities is also right in a way, because if the job opportunities would have been good, then Tina might not have been worried about losing the job at a later point. She's scared that it might be tough for her to get one later on. So revision is definitely not right. CI's inability is not right. Overlap of the skill sets of Tina and Rakesh is true in a way. But again, not really, because Tina has international exposure, higher revenue projects. This guy has a different pedigree, more years of experience, degree, and also. I will not go for 3 mostly. That should not worry her, right? Acquisition of CI by PSI, which will lead to downsizing. So downsizing is an issue. Lack of opportunities in the market might not be the source of internal. I don't know. I think 2 is better than 5. In this case, what should be the primary cause of concern for CI? Okay. One well-deserving candidate will lose his or her job. Many employees are being terminated because of the acquisition. Okay. Existing GM is considering staying silent about a decision to join a management until a formal announcement is made about the new GM. PSI is following very strict employee retention conditions for the new organization. All of the above. Primary cause of concern for CI. One deserving candidate is one case that we know of, but there might be other things as well that might have been going wrong or something, right? So we can't really focus on only Tina Rakesh. So Tina Rakesh is fine, but I'm not concerned about only one candidate. Many employees are terminated. Yes, that is something that we should be concerned about. So I think all of the above bhi nahi hona chahiye. An existing GM, again, I don't know if it's the primary cause of concern. So 3 is also not right, I think. PSI is following very strict employee retention conditions for the new organization. I don't know if they are following very strict these things. I'll go for 2. That might be the primary cause of concern for CI, right? Okay, let's see. From the management's perspective, which factor should be given the least preference while comparing the profiles of Tina and Rakesh to fairly decide who should be the new G? Least preference. Rakesh's single parent status, because it has got nothing to do with his job. In which order should Tina explore the below options? Look for a new professional opportunity elsewhere. Discuss with HR the possibility of recommencing work later. Talk to the HR and let them know that she will be unavailable to work for 6 months. Try to convince the universities to. 4th, I don't think is right. check the possibility of joining the course in the next batch. So they can't change the program, no? So 4 I think is off, 5 I think is also way off. So 4, 5 I think will be 2, 3, 1. Let's see. 2 is fine. 3 is fine. 1 is again, I don't know. 1 is also slightly far-fetched. But 4 and 5 are also 4 and 5 are also 4, 5 and 1 are the weaker options. So this is fine. This is fine. What about this one? 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. It's a tricky one. Okay, I'll go for 3 to 4. 3 will say that unavailable to work for 6 months. Then possibility of recommencing work later. Then university to reduce professional. If nothing happens, then look somewhere else. And then if that also doesn't happen, then next batch. I don't know. I think this might be one. One also seems to be one thing. As in, you can't really look for a new professional opportunity elsewhere before you have anything else, right? And this looks very tricky. According to these two options, so 2, 1 also looks fine. 5 can't be the first one, so this option is definitely out. 4 can't be the first one because even if they reduce, you will have to travel. So 4 can't be the first one. Either 3 or 2 will be the first one. One, 4, 5. 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. Or 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. I still like this 1, 4, 5. Let's see. I'm not very sure of this. If you were from the HR, same one, yeah. And Tina chose to confide in you, what should you do so that it will be the best interest of all the parties? Discourage Tina from taking admission, career prospects get harmed. Not really. Give credit to Tina for her honesty and support the decision to let her continue working in the same capacity. Okay. Advise Tina to resign. Not really. Advise management to offer Tina the position, let her go for 6 months without pay. Okay. Propose that Tina let go of her position now and reinitiate discussion once her course is over. So not really. So we are supporting, we are giving credit to Tina for her honesty and whatever, same capacity and everything. Okay, then what will you do? We are not committing anything. Right? She'll come back, she'll join us, we'll be very happy and all those things. We are supporting her decision. Right? Okay, seems to be a plausible one. Okay, the food tech unicorn Potato, which has often placed allegations of unfair business practices, again found itself in controversy recently on the difference in food prices of same items offline and on the food delivery platform. Yeah. Responding to the allegations, Potato said that it had no control over such price difference. Very good. A person named Baitul Babra wrote a post on LinkedIn a few days back that showed bills of both online and offline orders of the same food items from the same restaurant. The bill amount was higher by 37% and the food items were ordered from Potato compared to when the order was made offline. Babra asked the reason for the same. The user further pointed out, assuming Potato brings visibility and more orders to the food service provider, should it charge such higher price? Okay, but many other Potato customers express solidarity with these views online. Potato replied to the post on Wednesday. Potato, being an intermediary platform between a customer and a restaurant, does not have any control over the prices implemented by the restaurant partners on the platform itself. Additionally, Potato reiterated that it has always asserted the customer is the company's prime focus. Well, in a third-party poll of Potato customers conducted after this event, most customers voted that the government should cap this cost escalation to avoid making it prohibitively expensive for customers. Which of the following, if true, if implemented, to convince Potato customers that they will not be overcharged? conducted an assessment, CEO subscription, high discounts. The government has issued a show cause notice to Potato to explain the difference. Supreme Court recently placed a ceiling on the companies. Till the issue, Potato should use a coupon code. Doesn't make sense, no? Customers will not be overcharged. So coupon codes I'm not very convinced about. Discounts and coupon codes. Option 2 and option 5 are out, I think. Explanation मांगा तो it will not convince them ना that they will not be overcharged. Assessment करने से भी they will not be overcharged करके बोल सकते हो. This one, I don't know. It doesn't seem very direct, right? But it plays the ceiling. So again, the way in which legal cases go, you have to have some precedent, right? So this could be a precedent, and Potato might be scared of that, and that's why it will not overcharge the customers. Potato conducted an assessment of all its partner restaurants to check for said discrepancies. But it will not convince the customers. Na? They did some research, but how does it matter? CEO of Potato announced the Potato Premium subscription. The 2 and 5 definitely are not, I think. Show cause notice to Potato to explain the difference in online and offline prices. But show cause notice, what will happen? They might say something and you might still be overcharged. I don't think even 3 is right. I still think 4 is the answer. Let's see. I'll go for that. An internal Potato memo justified the price difference, stating that Potato brings more visibility and orders to its restaurant partners. Which of the following options would help Potato address the issue in a way that reduces the customer burden while not impacting the platform's revenue? Okay. So revenue nahi hona chahiye, and revenue should not be affected, and the customer should not be burdened. Identify the restaurant partners overcharging online, temporarily stop listing them on extra. Not, I don't know. Let's see. You can't stop them. You can tell them you don't do this. Regularize online offline pricing and levy an increased restaurant visibility charge on the final bill to the customers. Why will they charge the customer? This is fine. You can charge the restaurants, right? Because customers ko bill mein charge karne ka koi point. Wait for the issue to be resolved in court. No, not really. Send a push notification. Compare the restaurant price of Potato. No. I think this is fine. Which of the following options will most benefit the restaurant partners? Without impacting their online ordering from the platform. Most benefit the restaurant partners. Harmonize online prices with their offline menus. Delist their restaurants from Potato's online ordering platform. Change their offline menu to reflect the price of Potato. No. 2 and 3, I don't think. Keep the online prices unchanged, but offer flat 20% discount to orders above 149. Not really. Stage protests outdoor. No, doesn't make sense. So harmonize this thing is the best, right? Save and next. Okay. So we are done with all 21 questions in DM. Quant, how many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 20 we did. 20, 21, 41. And very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 attempts, out of which I'm not sure of. 6 or 7. Yeah. So 52 attempts till now. Let's see. We have 39 minutes to go. Let's look at those RCs and see what happens. We had missed one thing. So a conversation. Yeah. So when Ayn Rand distinguishes existence from consciousness, she mainly means by existence what other philosophers call the external world. Thus, the distinction is between the states of one's own mind and external phenomena. According to objectivism, existence has primacy over consciousness in 2 senses. First, epistemologically, human knowledge begins with the awareness of the external world. It does not begin with the awareness of one's own ideas. The reason is that ideas or states of consciousness are necessarily ideas about something, and that something is what one is aware of. One could not become aware of one's own consciousness unless the first had some states of consciousness to be aware of. And one could not have states of consciousness unless one had something else that one was conscious of. Okay. Okay, I understand something, but I don't understand a lot of it. right? But the idea is that you don't really start thinking about yourself internally. You don't do introspection till the time you reach a certain age. But before that, you have a lot of knowledge and understanding of things around you. So you get the external perspective first, and then you build an internal perspective. That's what I think they're trying to say. Second, existence has a metaphysical primacy. So basically, again, I don't know how many of you are. I mean, if you know about this, but there are two types of solipsism as well, right? So epistemological and metaphysical. So these are all psychological concepts which say that what you see and what you perceive might not be the reality. So interesting discussion, but beyond the context of the test. Existence has a metaphysical primacy over consciousness. That is, the external world exists prior to and not dependent on our minds. This also implies that the external world has specific characteristics prior to and independent of the states of our minds. And this is for the same reason. In order to have states of consciousness, there first must be things for us to become conscious of. Because consciousness is consciousness of things. Consciousness, again, is the faculty of becoming aware of existing. Right? So again, I don't know. They're talking about existence, right? Something has to exist for us to develop consciousness. Now, for those of you who are interested beyond the scope of this thing, you might want to check out something called as solipsism, SOLIPSISM. So check about it. So epistemological, metaphysical, you will be able to see a lot of things, right? So one says that reality does not exist at all, and everything is our mental construct. So what we see, feel, taste, smell is everything that we have created on our own. There is nothing that exists. And the second thing is something exists, but we have conditioned ourselves to think about it in a different manner. Something like Matrix. Oh, end of the story. So which of the following options cannot be definitely inferred from the above conversation? Consciousness cannot create or alter things. Consciousness is not a standalone entity. Okay, not a standalone entity here. Consciousness is separate from the state of our minds. One needs to be aware of the external world in order to form ideas. And for one to be conscious, the presence of the external world is obligatory. Okay, so 5 is definitely there. That is present. One needs to be aware of the external to form ideas is also there. I think consciousness is not a standalone entity is also something that I think has been written here. Okay, ठीक है. Consciousness separate from the state of our minds. This I have to check. Not sure. State of one's mind and external phenomena. Cannot create or alter things. This is something that we generally talk about in an epistemological sense. And that something is what is one aware of. One could not become aware of one's own consciousness unless one first had whatever. Consciousness is separate from the state of our minds. I'm torn between 1 and 3. Okay, I'll go for 1 because we have not mentioned anything about changing the state of things and all. Let's see. What people usually mean when they call something an allegory today is that the fictional work in question can function as a metaphor for some real world situation or an event. Okay. This in common arts journalist device, finding a political parallel to whatever you happen to be reviewing is a handy way to make it appear worth writing about in the first place. Calling that parallel an allegory serves to make the comparison more forceful. Fusion says that Batman versus Superman is a none too subtle allegory for the fight between the Republican presidential hopefuls Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. It is not. The Hollywood Reporter, okay, interesting. The Hollywood Reporter calls Zootopia an accidental anti-Trump allegory. This despite the fact that there is no literary form less accidental than allegory. Okay, the meaning of the word has drifted so far that even words that aren't especially metaphorical get labeled as allegory. A film about artistic representation in Iran is a clunky allegory for artistic representation in, I don't know, allegory or metaphor. The distinction might seem obscure and academic to many readers. Shouldn't allegory be grateful to get any attention at all? Isn't it just an archaic literary mode that nobody uses anymore? Yes and no. About the only people creating two allegories today are political cartoonists, but a culture never entirely discards its roots. An allegory which first appeared in the waning years of the Roman Empire is one of the foundations of Western literature. Maybe if we understood it better, we would realize how much we owe to it. Besides, the allegorical imagination lives on, just not in the places where critics think they see it. Okay. Difference in the tone in the given order. So first one, again, it's saying it's not, and it is saying it is pretty sarcastic. The first is sarcastic because the last part, if you look at it now, artistic representation in Iran is a clunky allegory for artistic representation in Iran. So they are basically saying that metaphor and allegory get confused between each other, I think. Yeah. So I am more inclined towards sarcastic and speculative because maybe if we understood it better, we would realize how much we owe to it. Not just in the speculative seems slightly off for the second one. Populist and disparaging, not really. Vitriolic and nostalgic is also fine. First appeared in the waning years of Roman Empire, foundations of Western literature. Understood it better, we realize how much we owe to it. This is still fine. But vitriolic generally is a it's too extreme a term, right? Sarcastic and speculative new. Nostalgic is still okay. Regretful. Apathetic nahi hai. Second paragraph is not apathetic. Not speculative, I would say. Not disparaging. Nostalgic or regretful. Condescending also seems better. Condescending is a milder version of vitriolic in a way. So, I would still say this. Nostalgia literally means pain because of past memories and seems painful. I don't know. I'll go for condescending and regret. Let's see. Vitriolic is too much. The above paragraphs can be taken from textbook of modern literature, lecture to the students of journalism, article on film criticism. Film criticism, not really. Research article on the changing use of allegory. Editorial on the use of allegory as a political tool. Not really political tool. Not just a political tool. 4 still seems fine, but research article maybe there is not a lot of data as such. There are a couple of examples, yes, but doesn't seem to be a very formal article. Lecture to the students of journalism. Textbook of modern literature. I would probably go for 4th. I don't know. There is not a lot of data, but again, lecture to the students of journalism again seems slightly off because we are talking only about political cartoonists knowing allegory and journalism as a whole. We are saying that it's a common device and whatever. Okay, I need some time for quant as well. I'll go for this. Following cannot be inferred from the passage. Today, an allegoric actually means a metaphor which compares fiction with the real life events. Compares fiction with the real life events. Okay. Not everything what is written is worth reviewing, but making it allegorical makes it appear worthwhile. Yes, it says that. Allegory is a deliberate use of a literary form that represents immaterial things such as images. Okay. The use of figurative imagination with deeper meanings is still widely used, especially when politics is concerned. It's still fine. Yes. is a deliberate use of a literary form that represents immaterial things as images. I don't know. Again, this is a forced attempt, by the way. I'm not very convinced about the answer. Okay, let's go to quant and do something and then let's come back. This was slightly difficult. Okay, let's see what happens here. Maximum player 30 and 40 ODIs. Okay, let's see. Graph number of top 100 players of the year, 7 years. Each one, or at least all the top 100 players could not play a single ODI. Each of the 4 parameters in the graph use a distribution of the matches played by each of the 4 groups of players. Example, what was the example? Sorry. In the year 2015, each of the top 25 players played a number of matches that lies between 30 and 40 and so on. Oh. Okay. Top 25. Okay, understood. Let's see. Median and average of the number of players of top 100 players each of the given years are, okay, 14, 16. So median and average. Median number of matches is 14 and so on. Maximum play between 30 and 40 ODIs. Between 30 and 40, right? Consider uniform distribution. Median and average. So median is 14, average is 15. So if median is 14, then 30 to 40 seems to be a smaller number. 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, so first 4 numbers I have to check. 14, 16, 18, 19. The maximum number of players play between 30 and 40 ODIs. Between 30 and 40. So 25% is what we are saying here. Here we are saying some part of 25%, some part of the 75 to 50 to 75%. I think. Yeah, so 26 to 50 basically. Okay. So if 19 is the median, it means a lot of people have played more than 19 matches. So either I'll go for 18 or I'll say CBD. For CBD, let's see what happens. In which of the following is did the median number of players played by the highest percentage into the corresponding value in the previous year? Median played, okay. Okay. So 2 out of 14, 1 by 7, 14.28. 2 out of 8. Sorry, 2 by 16, 1 by 8, 12.5. So for the 16 is better. 1 तो नहीं चलेगा, 2 भी नहीं चलेगा. There is no difference, right? So median बोला है ना. This is the median, right? So I think 16 should be the answer. Okay, seems to be an easy one. Identify the number of years in which the difference between the average number of the matches played by the top 25 and bottom 25 is more than 42. Uniform distribution. Very painful, yeah. Average number by the top 25 and bottom 25 was more than 42. So 40, 30 to 40. Difference between the average number of matches. I think this is 9, I believe. 9 and 35, I guess. 4.5 and 35. Okay. This should also not work because 42 is very far-fetched. This has barely crossed 42, 45. So not 42, I think. What about this one? We are going from 38 to 49. 38, 49, 11, 5.5, 43.5 should not work. What about this one? 40 and 53. 40, 53, 13, 6, 46.5, 46.5 and 12.5, 6.25. Not really. So 2020, I think will work. Okay, 2020 and 2021. 2020 is, I think, again, I don't know if I'm interpreting it correctly, 43 to 56. So 43, 50, that is 49.5. And 49.5 and 7. Yeah, I think this is fine. And the last one should also be fine, I think. Yeah, so I think 2. Last we can check once. We have some time. So we have 60 and 45, 45, 60, 52.5. And yeah, less than 10 for sure. So I think 2. This we did. 23. Let's see. This was, I had done some calculation, but I'm not sure if it's right. We'll do this and then we'll go back to the answers. Okay. Yeah, we had reached this 3024, which made me look at 12096 as an option. Let's see. 4 and 2 respectively, how many pairs can satisfy these values of A and so 3024 different numbers are there. Okay. Now 3024 different numbers. Let's say the first 2 digits are the same and the last 2 are different, right? So the first 2 digits being the same is fine. Last 2 digits can be done in only 2 ways. Again 2 ways, again 2 ways. So 2 6 are 12 ways. 9876. So 72 into 42. I think this product is fine. 3024 seems to be right. So this is into 6, right? So 3024 into 6. Now why 6 is a good question. So 3024 combinations are possible for the first one. For each one, there will be 6 options. Why? Because if the first 2 are at the same position, then 2 for the second one. Then one combination will exist. It should not be the same, right? Oh, so it will be 6 only. I think it's 81. Nice question. If Prasad announces the value of A and B are 0 and 0, how many pairs of numbers formed by Prasad in his mind can satisfy these values of A and B? So, 3024 ways to form the first number. The second number has to be distinct. So 3024 distinct combinations, I have to select any 2 out of those combinations. They do not share anything. So its first number is 120. So first number can be made in 3024, a second number in 120 ways. If I take the product, I get a 0, 12 4s are 48, 12 2s are 24, 4 28, 12 3s are 36, 3 6 2 8 8 0, or multiplied by 2 if the pairs have to be ordered. But does it make sense? I'll go with this thing. Let's see. Again, I'm not very sure. But again, as I said, I take my bets in that, right? A and B are 1 and 0. So A is the common one, not at the same position, right? So 3 0 2 4 distinct combinations that were possible. Now let's say the first one is same, the next 3 are all different and different numbers. So 5 into 4 into 3, right? Because 9876 we already used. 5 4 3 is 120 you will get. So 3024 into 120 into 6, I believe, should be the answer. So 720. 3024 into 720. 0, 72 4s are 288. 72 2s are 144 plus 28, 172. 7, 24 3s are 737280. Can we see this number somewhere? No. So maybe I am wrong. 737280. 72 4s are 288, 28, 72 2s are 144, total is 172, 2, 117, 7 carried, 72 3s are 216, 216 plus 1, 217, 2177280 something. Yeah, I think this is right. And if these are right, then I will go to sleep a very happy person. Okay, I have no idea what to do with this, but so because we have come this far, let's look at these two as well. Let's see. Candlestick. I like candlesticks and I actively trade and all, but volume and this weighted average is a problem. Let's see. So exactly 60% of the shares that were bought or sold on Monday were bought or sold at the average price, and the remaining were equally bought or sold at the lowest and the highest price. 60% ना. So 140 अगर है Infosys का 140 का 60% is what? 84 and 56 for Infosys. Okay, so sorry, Infosys 120 6 are 72 48 150 60 90 60. I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't know. 135 का 60% is what? 81 54 and last वाला क्या था? What was the last one? LT का 75 का 60% कितना होता है? 75 का 60% is 45 30. Okay. Average price and equally at the higher price. Average was high plus low. 110 20 130 65 65 65 75 65 75 52.5 I don't know. This is the battle of my ego, nothing else. 130 20 150 75 75 and 75 95. Okay, please don't try this at home or during the test. What I'm doing right now, sometimes you need to let go. $110 $20, then 120 30 120 30 110. Okay, I'll do just this one, then I'll get out of this. 130 130 20 130 20 140 50. 130 20 140. I don't even know what I'm doing, but third most traded, right, in rupees. So 84 into 65, 72 into 75, 19 to 52.5, 81 into 75, so that is large. 54 into 130 20 also seems to be larger than the second one. So I'm looking at this one and this one, second one. 45 95 is very low. 31 40 50 doesn't seem to be very high. I have no clue. I will go for. Let's compare first and fourth. This is definitely seems to be the lowest. I am not sure. I just some instinct I have. I don't, some bad instinct I have, but I have. 12.5 and 6. So this is definitely 12%. This is not even 12%. So this is higher. And 30 into 100, 3,000, 3,300. This is higher. Yeah. So slightly higher. This is right here. I don't know. I'll go for Infosys or Mahindra में से कोई तो एक है. 28 in 110, 28, 280, 3080, 3080 and 560, 3560. So 200 more hai yahan pe. And here you have 65 for the 260, 26, 520, 5460. And here you have 4500. So I think this is increases should be good. Not sure. Not sure. Let's see. 13 minutes. Let's look at some more answers. Now let's expand the window. Throughout history, philosophers have been intrigued by the nature of time and how we experience its progression. Time is partial part of human experience, essential for everyday behavior and for the survival of the individual organism. Surprisingly enough, its neural basis is not known. Temporal intervals lasting only seconds or spanning a lifetime are according to the perceived duration. Painfully long or reverse too short. Waiting for the elevator, taking the stairs are based on experience, passage of time, anticipated duration. The importance of our temporal experiences is strikingly documented in individual neurological cases. Accelerated sensory organ for the passage of time. Yes, understood. Time is not a material object. Unique receptor system. Perception of time. Used and understood. Got a fair idea of this. Despite a growing body of knowledge on the psychology and on the neural basis of the experience of time, the developers still unsure how does the mind create time. Time is a construct of the self. Pursued time thereafter represents the mental state of the beholder in time. Okay, whatever. Psychological research has shown that cognitive functions such as attention, working memory, as well as long-term memory determine temporal judgments. Moreover, drive states, moods, and emotions, as well as factors of personality influence duration estimates. Longer you pay more attention to time and load of areas. Subjective well-being is also very strong. Pleasant activities during periods of boredom, drags, specific cognitive functions, momentary mood states. Influence the processing of duration. Specific neural timing mechanism nevertheless could account for our ability to accurately process shorter durations up to a few seconds. Accurately synchronize their regular beats कर सकते हैं. Temporal last decades larger इसके लिए शायद नहीं कर सकते. They don't know. Over the last decades, the most successful models have been variants of a pacemaker, accumulator, clock, oscillator, series of pulses. Number of pulses represent duration, neuronal properties. Something happens. I don't know what happens. Among the other regions, most prominently the cerebellum, the right posterior parietal cortex, right posterior parietal cortex, the right prefrontal cortex, as well as the frontostriatal circuit somewhere, have been implicated as the neural substrates of a potential timekeeping mechanism. Likely expect as time as relative. Time flew by. Time hangs heavy. Oh, time hangs heavy was also there, right? Somewhere. Time will tell. Time stands still. So time stands still, yes. Time hangs heavy, yes. Time flew by, yes. Time and tide wait for none is very generic. Time will tell. Time will tell does not have the temporal, the tempo that is right, the speed. I don't know. The passage of time, the neural basis of time, the perception of time, the perception of relation of time and self, factors influencing time. I think it's the perception of time or neural basis of time. Neural basis of time also seems good. Neural basis is not. I think neural basis of time. Yeah, neural basis of time. It has been mentioned a lot of. Is not true according to the passage. Our day-to-day decisions are based on our experience and anticipation. Okay. No special sensory organ. Yes. Have not been able to decipher as to how the mind creates time. Very good. The duration of time does not depend on our moods or states of mind. Duration of time. Okay. The neural basis is unknown. Yes, that is right. Everyday deception based on experience. I think this is the one. So let's see. Okay. The theory of relativity in relation to time is completely synonymous with the relative passage of time. Theory of relativity. Okay, let's see. Somewhere it was there, right? Importance of temporal experiences. Time ultimately is this thing. Talk about time. Linguistic structures doesn't matter. Neural basis of time. Time intervals are subjective. Theory of relativity. Somewhere it was there, right? I forgot where it was. Time sense, sensory organ, sensory cortices, material object, perception of time. Completely related to passage of time. Relativity to time is a different story altogether, right? It takes it as a dimension and talks about gravity and stuff and what the impact it has. Time is similar related to passage of time. I am not sure of this. Partly, not sure. The evolution of man, C.S. Lewis noted that nothing he could say could keep some people from saying that he was anti-science, a charge he was nevertheless eager to refute. The fact that he had received the kind of philosophical education from at Oxford enabled him to resist the two opposed temptations of science, deified and defied. That we read, right? Deified and defied. Naturalism, implicit, explicit rejection of all non-quantifiable truths, reason, epiphenomenalism, Huxley's notion that the brain and mind are fully determined by process of irrational physical processes. Thoughts come out of the brain as ball from the liver. This we had read. Irrational and beyond our control. Okay. Yeah, they claim their own scientific thoughts are true. This is deified. Okay. Predictions that lead to straight to the moral nihilism and later to social Darwinism and Nietzschean transvaluation of values in the interest of immoral strength and force. Abolition of man is inter alia extended treatise against the deification of science. Oh. Defy science. Pantheistic Gnosticism. Pantheistic. So knowing everything basically, I don't know. Depreciation of reason. He would not defy science on romantic or Gnostic grounds. Science was a great product of scientific reason if accurate was valid, but it was not the only valid kind of reasoning. Non-contradiction, okay, not the only way this thing. Old Dada said the only way to avoid metaphysics is to say nothing. In order to think, we must claim for our reasoning a validity which is not credible if our own thought is merely a function of our brain and our brains a byproduct of irrational physical processes. Our own thought is merely a function of our brain and our brains a byproduct of irrational physical processes. I have no idea about this. The workings of the world were transcendental and could not be completely comprehended by man. Okay. I say partly agree with this sentence because he's saying that everything can't be explained by science, right? Inter alia. Inter alia, I think in good faith. I knew this. Just give me a second. Okay, among other things, I think. Yeah, I think it is this thing. Lewis was against science deification, but supported science defied. Lewis was not a proponent of either of these schools of science deification or science defied. Scientific reason is a necessary condition. Defied science and also supported the deprecation of reason. Antagonism of the views put by Huxley and Bohm. So he's not opposing anything, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, 3 minutes, right? So we have what, 4 more questions. Let's see. Biological community thinks it has accounted for the apparent design in nature to Darwinian mechanism of random mutation and natural selection. Okay, point to appreciate is that accounting for the apparent design in nature, biologists regard themselves as having made a successful scientific argument against actual design. Claim to be scientific falsified, it must have the possibility of being true. Refutation is double-edged sword. Claims that are refuted scientifically may be wrong, but they are not necessarily wrong. They cannot simply be dismissed out of hand. Consider what happened in microscopic this we had read, right? Cells don't have it inscribed on them, but that's not the point. The point is we wouldn't know this unless you actually present in a microscope. And if they were so inscribed, they would have to entertain the thought as a scientist that they were actually made by Yahweh. So even those who do not believe in tacitly admit that the design always remains a live option in biology. A priori, prohibitions against design are philosophically unsophisticated and easily countered. Nonetheless, once we admit that design cannot be excluded from science without argument, a weightier question remains. Why should we want to admit design into science? Why shouldn't we want to admit design into science? It's something designed by an intelligent agent. Okay, design. Okay. Demand answers to the entire industries are devoted to drawing the distinction between accident and design. How can here we can include forensic science, intellectual property law, insurance claims, cryptography, whatever. Cannot be included to distinguish accident from design. Conceived independently or was it plagiarized, right? Okay. Someone get lucky on the stock market or the insider trading. Okay. Logo designed by the computer was a reference from some mythological source. Did she fall or was she pushed? Did someone die accidentally or commit suicide? Was this logo designed by a computer or was it reference from some mythological source? Designed by a computer. I don't know. Unless we are talking about sentience, it's difficult. A priori prohibitions. A priori is before, right? Yeah, I think it is this one. A priori prohibition is designed philosophically and sophisticated and easily countered. I think it is this, not sure. First two paragraphs for the passage. Biological community thinks something, and microscopic is concerned, they are trying to. Two doesn't refute. Maybe I think it's this. Support scientific refutation. Two is not this thing in one. Second one, we are talking about design. Probably go for it. 16th, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. BCCI, who is the current president? I think Roger Binney. So I'll just do this and I'll finish the test. Automatic wear water floodgates. I'm not sure of this at all. Okay, we'll look at it later. Nobel Prize in 2022. Sadly, I didn't follow it. Okay, not sure. John Nash was a famous mathematician. Governor of Assam. For some reason, I think it's Anandiben Patel. I'm not sure. Main islands of Japan. Okay. Not sure. Theme for 2022 dash is leave no one behind. Not sure. First to run its parliament entirely on solar power. I had heard of this, but I forgot. Very good. The paradox of value is also known as. Not sure. Chief economist of IMF. I don't know. At some point it was Geeta Gopinath, but I'm not sure. Does not border the Caspian Sea. Okay. No, no. Ramon Laguarta. I'm not sure. एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत पर. एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत. Seems like minority affairs, but not sure. India is dash in competitiveness index 2022. Not a book written by Ruskin Bond. Blue Umbrella, I know he has written. Okay. Chicken pox is caused by virus. At least I hope it's virus. Currency of Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan rupee. Okay. Highest producer of that commodity. Not sure. FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup 2022. Okay. I don't know. India. No, not sure. Again, sorry. Does not have an oil refinery. I think Haldia and Paradip, I know. Mathura is there. I think it's there. Guwahati and Vadodara. Vadodara. Not sure. Shantanu Narayan is the CEO. Okay. Not sure. Let's see. Vadodara. First robot lawyer, Ross. Not sure. 11 Academy Awards, except. Not again. Acropolis, highest city. Acro is height. Best International Film category at Oscars 2023. Chelo Show. Achha, we have a submit button here. I can go back to this thing, right? Let's mark something and go ahead. I don't. SS Abhyankar. Should not be peace. Not medicine. It doesn't matter. We are not going to lose any marks. Although I might lose some face, but that's okay. Leave no one behind, right? Labor Day. Solar power. I don't know, for some reason I want to say Pakistan, but seems like one of those trick questions. I might be absolutely wrong. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Paradox value is also known as diamond water. Chief economist, I think it's Gita Gopinath. I'm not sure again. Sorry. Caspian Sea, Russia, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and Turkmenistan. Russia, I think, is there. So let's see. Not sure. Ramon Laguarta, again, I've heard, but I nicely, happily forgot. PepsiCo, Tropicana. I'm not sure. But एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत पर okay, don't make fun of me for marking all the wrong answers. This is not my strongest suit. Okay. And if I mess up my medicine question, then it's perfectly okay. Let's doesn't matter. All right, we will. Can morality and self-interest coexist? The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Either of them is fine. As in morality and self-interest. Again, you have to talk about it purely from the perspective of when right decisions have to be made and self-interest has to be sacrificed. So I think, in fact, even climate change can be spoken about it. So what is the moral course of action? What is the self-interest course of action? What happens to future generations? All those kind of things. Greatest threat to a planet is the belief that someone else will save it. So again, it's pretty generic in a way. So fossil fuels, you can say exhaustion of fossil fuels, new energy sources that might come about. The age old thing of polar ice caps melting, sea levels rising, climate change that is happening in terms of natural calamities or temperatures being rising throughout the year, and all those things you can write. I don't know. I think the second one is the more generic one. I think you'll be able to generate more ideas for the second one. The first one is something which is philosophical. You might want to give some examples. You might want to talk about people who are immoral in nature. You might want to talk about some scams, people who take loans and not really pay them back. If you are very keen on putting some random thing into the essay, then you can talk about bad bank and all those things. But again, you will need some examples in the first one. Second one is mostly generic. Okay. So I think we will submit this and we will see what has happened. Yeah. I don't think I've done a very good job at verbal. Verbal might be a disaster for all, Quant I think was fine. I had those 2-3 disturbances in the middle. I had to open the door a couple of times, and this thing 41.75. Not a great performance, right? As I said, VA is 7.5, GK 13 is surprising. DM is 9.75. Let's see what the split is. So VMA I had 11 correct and 14 wrong. Quant 25 out of 27, and DM 12 correct, 9 wrong. Again, might have messed up some things, right? I'll just check this thing once. Let's see. And take a second. I'll just check this once and I will tell you what the cutoffs would have looked like. I have it on my mail. The benchmarking table. Let me just check. So not an amazing performance, honestly. Yeah. So it will be according to the benchmarking tables. QA 99.99 percentile was at 22.5. So we have comfortably beaten that. So that is a good part. VA 7.5 will put me somewhere around 80 percentile. That was there. So again, not a very good performance, obviously. 9.75 in DM is around 90 percentile. Overall, 41.75 will be somewhere around 99.7ish, 99.8ish percentile. Right. So again, not a very good performance, honestly. But yeah, DM I will have to check once. Verbal, I knew when I was taking the test that it was a very sad attempt, but hopefully at the actual ZAT, this should be good enough to clear this course. In fact, this has been the pattern more or less for whatever ZATs I have taken earlier as well. Typically, it so happens that the verbal and the DM sections will be somewhere in the early to mid 90s, or late. One of them will be the late 90s. QA and DI will generally be at 99.9 plus, right? And that brings the overall to a 99.9 plus, because you will see that in a lot of scenarios, in a lot of cases, QA will be the one that will drive your performance. And if you are good at QA, that gives you an edge, specifically when it comes to the ZAT. I think I messed up a bit here. 37 minutes, 21 questions was slightly, I think, on the higher side. I should have gone slightly slower here, but 9.75, 90 percentile, can't complain. That I can't complain if I get a 90 percentile in a section. You have to dominate the section that you are good at. That is basically what we did here in quant. And I think, yeah, that was fair enough. Verbal could have done better, but not my strongest suit. I've not been in touch, and I don't want to give more excuses, but yeah, it is what it is, right? DM I could have done better. I feel bad for DM, but VARC, I think whatever I got, I think I deserved it, right? So I'll take it as it is. So yeah, I don't know. They're showing 54.75 here, and something I must have missed somewhere. Including G. So 41.75. All right. So that's about it. That's what we had. You can take the test on your own as well if you haven't taken it earlier. And yeah, I hope it was helpful to you. I hope you are able to see what happens when someone takes an actual ZAT and how do we go about it, right? So it was a show of strength in quant, but otherwise, I think more or less it was averageish, I would say. But fair enough, right? So it was pretty close to the exact that generally happens. I think verbal was incredibly difficult. It was definitely difficult. I don't know how people have scored 18 and all in verbal. It was difficult, honestly, right? Or I might have been extremely rusty. But yeah, otherwise I think it was fine. So yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed the attempt. If there is anything that you want clarity on, you can put it in the comment section once the video is up on YouTube, and I'll try to answer whatever queries you might have had. Some decision making process wherein I did something whereas I should have done something else, and I would be glad to help you out there, right? So, all right, thank you everyone for staying put. I hope many of you stayed from the beginning till the end, and you gained some experience in terms of how to go about things. All right, so all the best, everyone. I hope you do well at the actual test as well, and keep practicing. Take a few mocks. Just get into the zone of sitting at one place for 165, 190 minutes, and that should help you crack the test. It's not a difficult test. The cutoffs are fairly low. It's a nice test that you can take and you can crack. All right. So thank you everyone. Stay safe everyone. Take care, and I'll see you again in some other video or in some other session. Till then, keep preparing and